Let's get nasty on a Friday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Carey Davis has the day off, at least from 101. I think he's heading up to Champaign to check out some Illinois football because he's going to be the sideline report. Is he sideline or is he doing
I think he's
analyst?
doing in-game analyst.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Now, does Carey have any college eligibility left? Or did he eat all that up?
I'm sure he ate it up.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, because he could probably help that team. Let's just be honest.
He probably could.
That program is...
Not great?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We can just talk smack about it, too, because Carey's not here.
He's got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking up.
What isn't a Illini anyways? Like, come on.
You would know.
No.
You're part Native American.
I am, but an Illini?
Well,
I don't know. Doesn't sound very intimidating to me.
I thought it was kind of funny. By the way,
team uniforms today. Marsh,
I didn't get the memo.
This was not planned.
It was not planned at all.
You got the newer one.
I got the blue paint.
Yeah, I got the black paint.
You have one of these, though, don't you?
I do. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Anyways.
Well, you guys held that out of the way.
So Carey won't be with us today. We're looking forward to a great Friday. Cardinals back in action tonight, so we'll play the lineup game, home run derby, and all that fun stuff. They welcome in the LA Dodgers. Tonight, it'll be undecided versus Miles Michaelis. We don't know yet who the Dodgers are going to throw.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter at this point. As Carey mentioned, they've had so many injuries to their starting rotation, yet they're playing perhaps the best ball that they have had. They've played all season. They're 71-51 on the year. They're 33-29 on the road. They are now leading the NL Central. Not NL Central, excuse me, NL West by only 2 games above Arizona and San Diego because Arizona and San Diego have been scorching hot. They have each won 9 of their last 10 games, respectively. So Arizona and San Diego are right on the Dodgers' heels. So unfortunately, you're not only getting a competitive first-place team, you're getting one that cannot take their foot off the gas because the 2 teams that are directly behind them in the division are 2 games back apiece. And that's where we can kind of get into where the Cardinals are at and what they're up against. It's not just how they have performed, which is not good, especially of late. It is also, guys, what they're up against in the National League wild card race. So here's your updated standings in the NL wild card race. The Diamondbacks and Padres are up 4.5 games, respectively, on the Braves. They have identical 69 and 53 records. The Braves are 4.5 games back at 64 and 57. The Braves currently hold the 3rd wild card. For all intents and purposes, catching the Diamondbacks and or the Padres for one of the top 2 wild cards would be the equivalence of them being the Cardinals catching the Brewers in the division. I think it's done.
Oh, yeah.
The Brewers have a wrap on the NL Central. The Diamondbacks and Padres, again, based on how they're playing, the Diamondbacks have won 6 straight. They hold those top 2 wild card spots with, what would it be, Marsh? A morning grip?
Morning grip?
Actually, it probably wouldn't be morning grip.
No, it wouldn't be morning grip.
No,
the Atlanta
That's the Cardinals
Braves
right now hanging on to the season. They've got morning grip.
They've got morning grip.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, but usually with morning grip, you end up getting your hand back to normal.
Sure.
I don't know if the Cardinals can do that.
But sometimes it's too late. Like when you really need your hand and it's unavailable.
Yeah.
And then when it comes back, it's too late.
That's the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So again, for all intents and purposes, the Cardinals are chasing that 3rd wild card spot. So here's what they're up against. The Atlanta Braves, the New York Mets, the San Francisco Giants. I almost put the Giants back in New York. The New York Mets, the San Francisco Giants, and the Cincinnati Reds. We just saw what the Reds are capable of with their young pitching, and that offense, especially playing in a bandbox, that offense is excellent. Mm-hmm. I mean, they took Cardinals pitchers behind the woodshed, unfortunately, in Cincinnati.
All over it.
When you look at those teams, guys, is there anything that you feel as though, like, you're confident in the Cardinals have an advantage over those teams?
No.
kind of where I'm at. Maybe with the Giants.
I was thinking the Giants.
Okay, but you're still not like the Braves is who you have to catch.
Right.
And as bad as the Braves have been, as much as they've stumbled with their injuries and all that stuff, they're still a better team than the Cardinals. And the Mets, I said this weeks ago, maybe even a month ago. I said they've got something going on there. The moment I saw them celebrating wins with one of their own players, like Latin dance songs, and they're out there and the lights are flashing and everybody's saying, I was like, okay, that team right there, they've got something going on.
They're loosey-goosey.
It reminded me of a lot of championship teams that have like something quirky about them, but it's working.
Like a song from the 80s.
Something, maybe a song.
Yeah,
from the 80s. Like a female singer.
Yes.
Who knows, right?
Something like that.
Whatever song.
Yeah.
But anyways, the Mets, since then, they were actually in a wild card spot not too long ago. They've dropped a little bit, but they're only 2 games behind the Braves, and they've been playing really well. So I don't think the Cardinals have a chance here. They'd have to leapfrog the Mets, the Braves. The Giants, I'll just put them to the side right now.
Yeah.
The Reds, same thing. I'm like, whoever ends up in that spot, whether it's the Giants, the Reds, the Cardinals, they're still going to be out of the playoff picture.
Correct. Check this out. The run differential.
Oh, gosh.
The run differential for again, forget the Diamondbacks and Padres. But if you want to know, plus 77 for Arizona, plus 74 San Diego. As much as the Braves have struggled, and they have struggled following the All-Star break, they still own a plus 41 run differential. The aforementioned Mets that you discussed,
Yep.
plus 22. And the Cincinnati Reds are a plus 55.
What are the Cardinals at, Anthony?
Well, they do have company because the Giants, the other team that we mentioned, the Giants also have a negative run differential.
How much?
Minus 12.
Ooh, okay. That's
Oh, the Cardinals are probably right around that number,
gotta be
right?
somewhere in there.
Yeah, minus 63.
Oh.
Minus 63. That puts them not in the same category as the Marlins and Rockies, but with the Washington Nationals, who are at minus 67, and they're only 55 and 67.
Who took 2 of 3 against you.
That's correct.
And honestly, we always talk about this team. You are 4 runs ahead of the Oakland Athletics, who are at minus 71.
That is pathetic. It is.
Good thing the White Sox are
I'm
still
sorry.
in the league, though.
I'm sorry, my math is off here. 8. You're 8 off. I was thinking of the Nationals, which is at minus 67,
Yeah.
not minus 63.
Yeah, so
White
Oakland's
Sox
minus
are
71.
minus 252.
Thankfully,
That's
the
terrible.
White Sox are still in the league. They haven't been relegated yet to the minors.
They're going
They
to call up
exist.
the Savannah Bananas.
Yes. Or what's the other team? The Party Animals?
Yeah.
Either one. Be more entertaining than the Chicago White Sox. But again, we can't really make fun of them because the Cardinals, at least on paper, should have a should have a team that is capable of earning a wild card berth. I've said it all year long. They should threaten in the division. It should be theirs to win. Even after last year, I was wrong. I was wrong about that. I was wrong about that projection. And I have stated, and I've been confident in it up until now, that the Cardinals will earn a wild card spot. I was wrong on that too. The odds are I think 5%. 5% right now for them to earn a wild card spot. That's not the division. That's not it's not the top wild card spot. It is a wild card spot. It's 5% right now.
I'm going to spin this into a slightly positive thing because it's the only thing that I can do right now. If the Cardinals are to somehow magically find themselves in the postseason, they're going to have to beat a lot of great teams. And in doing so, I think that will make them one of the best teams heading into the postseason just because they would be battle tested. Now, is that going to happen? I think we can all agree that it won't.
Oh, no, Anthony had him making the playoffs the other day.
I did, yeah.
And we still
At
have
one
that
point.
punishment thing.
Yeah, but that was before they
thing I
lost
didn't sign off on that.
9-2.
We have audio.
Good thing I chickened out on that. Remember you guys ruined the whole block thing?
Yeah.
I feel good about that now. At the time, I felt sad, but now that was the best non-play I've ever had.
I was kind of excited for it.
I know you were
Because it was a win-win for me. I don't care.
you had the advantage. Plus, you don't mind wearing really anything.
Yeah, or nothing.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You've worn Speedos on vacations, and you wore the Ronald McDonald Blues uniform. at one point.
I did. That was the height of my embarrassment.
What the hell is that?
Some people like those. I think Marsh does.
The clown jerseys?
Oh, I do like. Yeah, I like the clown jerseys.
They were terrible, Marshy. Let me just tell you.
Stop.
The material was like sandpaper.
Well, yeah, it's because you were playing in the 90s.
You get in a fight and someone's pulling your jersey. It looked like you had rope burn, like someone tried to strangle you after. It was horrible.
Was not every jersey made out of the same material?
No.
Really?
No, the good teams, meaning the teams that cared.
Yeah.
Like the Red Wings, the Bruins, the Canadians, the Maple Leafs, all those big time. None of they're like, no, we're good with our normal jerseys. You guys can keep those.
Well, I don't understand. Did the NHL not have one sponsor of jerseys like they do now?
No.
It wasn't CCM?
No. This was pre all of that.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Do you ever look at jerseys? Maybe it's a little bit different now with like the sweaters. Like there hasn't been a ton of change. But do you ever look back and be like, man, we had awful jerseys in the 90s? Like, I do that with high school football.
Yeah, I just told you that.
I know, but
the Anaheim Ducks,
even right
those
now,
were terrible too.
No. I mean, like, right now. Like, why didn't we have these things?
Like, if you go to Applebee's and you see, like, an old jersey on the wall, you're like, why would anyone wear that?
So, for example, like, if I were to go to my old high school now, they would have like the tight-fitting jerseys. You know, we had the baggy sleeves all over the place.
The Sam Bradford jerseys.
We had the the Aaron Rodgers jersey.
The next era had like the cut-off ones here, tight. Like
we had to like tuck the jerseys in, all mesh, it was just too much fabric everywhere.
I do think jerseys evolved though, because I remember when the NHL came out with the Reebok Edge jerseys. I was like, whoa, these are completely different. They had like the piping down, like if you remember the Blues, they had the yellow piping.
Straight down.
And at the time,
sides.
I'm like, this is really interesting. And now I look back, I'm like, these look terrible. Like all of them did, for the most part, unless you're like the Red Wings or the Blackhawks
their jersey.
or the Rangers, like those
Mike
original
Ilitch
6
paid
teams.
the fine. Every game he was fined. Wouldn't change the jersey. Said, just here's a blank check. Let me know what I owe you at the end of the season.
Really?
Yeah.
What were they changing it to?
The league wanted them to change to like this Reebok thing, and Reebok had all the piping, so it had like red stripes down here and changed and he was like, "No, we're not doing that."
Yeah, that's awesome.
Same material though, but
he was like, "Take a look at this."
Yeah,
no dice.
And that was the universal sign of no dice.
It was.
Yeah, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
X-Pac.
Yeah, X-Pac.
Remember that wrestler?
No.
Marcy, you don't remember X-Pac?
Oh, come on.
May he rest in peace, but still.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, he used to do that.
Makes sense.
There's a lot of wrestlers that do that.
That would do that.
Like DX.
Yeah.
Triple H.
There you go.
Yeah, Triple H did it too. Stole it.
A lot of hand signals.
Yeah.
Back in the day, wrestlers.
Can't see me.
You have the grind. Newt Bar has a hand signal.
Yeah, he does. Yep. Yeah, I haven't seen that grind in a while.
Certainly is a unique one.
We had DJ Burley Biscuits. I haven't seen them do that in a while.
No, nobody's been spinning.
Well, maybe it's because they don't get on base enough.
That makes sense.
Well,
and even if they do, they don't come around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Marsh had an interesting question related to coaching, philosophy, and Ollie Marmol that he'll spit at us next here on 101 ESPN. I love working with Mosby Building Arts. Everybody has home project remodels, right? And I'm not talking about the ones that are kind of like your fix-it, your weekend warrior type handyman projects. I'm talking about ones that will completely upgrade the look and feel of your home. We go to Mosby in the Stalter household because whether it's a full kitchen remodel or a partial kitchen refresh, Mosby Building Arts, they have the same process. You'll work with an interior designer that'll come in and it'll take the right measurements right there for you and get you a price that is going to, withstand. Unless you add stuff, the price is going to be the price. As opposed to working with contractors that, you try to save a dime here and there, and I get it. We've all done it, right? But then that contractor, he's not reliable or she's not reliable. They come in, they set up their material, then all of a sudden there's added cost to it. Not with Mosby Building Arts. So if you're looking for something like a partial bathroom or kitchen refresh, if you're looking maybe to do like a home office, or maybe you're just looking to upgrade the look of your fireplace or laundry room, there is no small project for Mosby Building Arts. They do it all. They do it all right, and you're going to love working with them. So give them a call, whether, again, it's a full project or a small one. Call Mosby.com. That's their website. Or give them an actual call, 314-909-1800. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. Cardinals back in action tonight. They'll host the LA Dodgers for 3 games. Miles Michaelis will be on the bump. We'll play the lineup game in a little bit here. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not Jordan Walker is in the lineup and whether or not Ollie puts him in the lineup. Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh. Yes, sir.
I have to make a little bit of an apology here.
What happened? You kill somebody off again?
Yep. I got the wrong Billy Bean a week ago.
Oh, no.
And X-Pac is still with us.
Oh, good.
Guys. X-Pac is still with us. I get him.
Were you thinking of Tupac?
No. Well,
who may still be with us?
You never know.
Yeah.
There are rumors around there that he's still around. No, I get X-Pac confused with Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero is no longer with us.
Oh, okay.
Both wrestlers back to,
Gotcha.
WWE.
Well, hey, it's good to
see you're still going, X-Pac.
Yeah,
Keep up the good work.
Sorry, Jamie, try to kill you there. All right, so speaking of Marshy, Marsh, you threw an interesting question at us in relation to fans, managers, philosophy, and then you kind of tied it in with Ollie Marmol and some of the frustration with Ollie right now among the fan base.
Yeah, there's a ton of frustration with Ollie, and obviously Mike Schilt's name has been popped up as well because of what he's doing in San Diego and what he did here in St. Louis. And the question I had was, do fans cling to managers who have a philosophy and history, or does it simply come down to winning? You know, I brought up in the office some coaches that are likable head coaches who have philosophies, but they haven't won anything in terms of a championship. You have Dan Campbell, aggressive, hard-nosed football. Like, that's what his team and their brand is. You have Mike McDaniel, who's all about speed, get the ball to the best playmakers as quick as possible. You have an example of likable head coaches in sports who have won, but also haven't won recently. We'll use Craig Berube right here in St. Louis, won a Stanley Cup, but as of recent, didn't win enough for the Blues and got fired for it. And then you have like Greg Popovich, who has had a ton of success, that team first mentality. You have him building stars, building players into stars who you might not necessarily deem to be a superstar, but they had great teams. And he also hasn't won anything as of recent, but I would assume that San Antonio fans love Greg Popovich because of what he's done for the organization. And so I was wondering, okay, is there a reason why we don't like Ollie Marmol, or the fans don't like Ollie Marmol? Well, yeah, it's because he hasn't won anything. But does he have a philosophy? Mike Schilt had a philosophy. He won. Now, there were philosophical differences, but when you look at some of the recent Cardinal managers, or at least the popular ones, they've all had philosophies. Yeah. And I don't know if Ollie Marmol has one.
It's an interesting question. Jamie, I'm fascinated by your thoughts on this because you've played for a slew of head coaches with different philosophies, different personalities. For me, when you pose that question, Marsh, and it is an interesting one. I tend to think of Dan Campbell. You brought him up. The Lions fans have hope for the first time in a long time. Is it
forever?
Forever, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Is it his philosophy? He does have one. They can get behind, especially, you know that city, Jamie. You know that city well. You're talking about blue collar, lunch pail, like the,
which is why Dan Campbell is a god there right now.
He's perfect for that city. That all counts. But there's hope. There's hope that they're going to win. When you think of a curmudgeon like Greg Popovich, or how he can be, especially with the media, Bill Belichick, same deal.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys don't have great personalities at all, but you can overcome it, obviously, when you win and win as consistently as you have. I do think it comes down to winning, or the prospect of winning. I think that's two separate conversations with Ollie. There's no hope, or little to no hope, and there's also no direction, seemingly.
Right.
So I think it's both.
Yeah, with Ollie, it's weird, right? Because, like, what is his philosophy? I know I'm sure they have one, but like, what is it? Like with Tony La Russa, was the hard nine, Whitey ball. Like everybody had a thing, even if it's sort of just a sales pitch on what kind of a manager or coach you are.
Right.
Like Dan Campbell comes out and talks about how his team's gonna, if they get knocked down, they're gonna bite people's knees, drag them to the ground. He wanted real lions at training camp. Like, had nothing to do with football. It's not like he said, we're going to be a real strong defensive team. We're going to blitz a lot. No, he said, basically, we're going to be so tough that even when you think you've beaten us, we're going to get up and we're going to bite your knee until you hit to the ground. And then, you know what? Let's get some real lions here at practice.
Well, we're going to be a hard team to play against. You might not be a good team, but at least be a competitive team, which we will get to later.
So I think the key for coaching and managing, yes, you have to have a philosophy. Yes, you have to know your stuff. The difference between one coach to another is minimal. Every time. No matter what coach, you take the best head coach, the coach that won the Stanley Cup championship, Paul Maurice, and you put him against Rick Tocchet or any other, like even a lower team. The coaches, the difference between them is minimal. It's more in-game management where teams win. But for me, it's the guy who sells himself the best. It is. Sell what you are. And sell is the easiest word I can find to use it. Convince people, tell them what you're about. Like, no, sell them on it. Like Craig Berube sold St. Louis on, we're going to be a four-check team, puck possession. We're going to grind you down to the ground. We're going to make it so in the third period you don't even want to play anymore. And then the team went on to win. And now Craig Berube won't have to pay for a beer for the rest of his life in St. Louis.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he was the smartest coach. He just, this is who I am. And then the team embodied what Craig Berube was.
Right.
The team's embodying Dan Campbell's philosophy right now. They're the ones telling him, let's go for it. I don't care. Fourth down, trust us. And he's like, okay, players want to go for it.
Definitely.
So for me, it's also that part of it too, where Ollie Marmol, like Tony La Russa, sold himself to. He'd say certain things. He'd bite back. He'd clap at the media. He'd clap about a player. Like he had that like hardcore old school, like, don't mess with me.
Love to manage against you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I've seen from Ollie. From what I hear, he's an extremely likable dude. He has the respect of the clubhouse. Very smart guy. But what is he? So I think that's what, if Ollie was a guy that came out and got in the media and just shredded guys, be like, ooh, he's a hardcore manager. But he has never done anything. He's just been vanilla.
Yeah. You know what, Jamie? You bring up I hadn't thought about this before. It's really interesting. So as we know, Major League Baseball is run by front offices now. I don't know what the philosophy is for most managers. In fact, I don't know what the philosophy is for 99% of them, right? And it's because I think, one, baseball is a little bit different. Like there's massive amount of strategy to it, but it's not like football or even hockey where you kind of look at it and, there's a scheme and a system, right? So part of it's that. But are these guys allowed to have an identity? Or is it just here's what we're looking at. Here's your roster. Here's your roster. Try to work the best of it. Maybe we'll get into that next. Let's talk about that a little bit more here in the fast lane. With Major League Baseball now being run by front offices and analytics, the manager even having an opportunity to have a philosophy. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Continue our conversation about Ollie Marmol and how this Cardinals team will fare through the remainder of the season. We're talking about Ollie and his philosophy. Chime in to this conversation. Does Ollie Marmol even have a philosophy? We're going to continue that coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. If you've missed that conversation or if you miss anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com. Check out the free 101 mobile app as well. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
We have your chance right now to win a 4-pack of tickets to next Tuesday night's Bud Bash game for the Cardinals and Brewers. It's a limited edition night of a Woody Williams bobblehead. You get all the details on this season's series of Bud Bash Cardinals games now at cardinals.com/promotions. Here's your trivia question to earn the tickets. This is the last day of the tickets. Who did Jamie, unfortunately, just kill off? Person's still alive, but Jamie, for a second week in a row, killed off the wrong person. Who is it?
Turning into a bad habit.
If you know the answer, text in 314-399-9646, and you'll win the Bud Bash tickets for Cardinals Brewers on Tuesday, August 20th. So we were just having the conversation about managers in baseball, identities, what fans can get behind when it comes to an identity. And Jamie, I thought you brought up an outstanding point, and I started to think about it as well. What is Ollie's philosophy? What is the identity? I don't know. What's the Cardinals' identity? So the more I thought about it, in fairness to Ollie, if I go to even the most veteran managers, I don't know what their philosophy is.
Yeah, but
I don't know what Dave Roberts' philosophy is.
True, although Dave Roberts has pretty much said the front office just kind of says whatever the hell. He's basically pulled the curtain back in L.A.
So that leads me to say, are they allowed to have?
But so let's go back.
Philosophies.
Let's go back to our most recent comparable, which is Mike Schilt. Mm-hmm. Mike Schilt came in, and what did he say? We're going back to the fundamentals.
Yeah.
We are going to be a fundamentally sound baseball team. I don't care right now. I'm not worried about the offense. We are going back to being Cardinals defense baseball.
Yeah.
And we knew that, okay, there's the philosophy. Mm-hmm. Then in spring training, they did 1 million drills of like batting the ball down and fielding and throwing. And so you knew right away, the philosophy of this team is we're not giving up runs because we stink defensively.
Yeah.
Boom.
All right, cool.
That was only a couple years ago.
Yep.
And now Mike Schilt is doing it again in San Diego with the Padres, bring back the fundamentals of offensive baseball, which is basically like Whitey ball that they're running right now out there in San Diego. Mm-hmm. So why do we know how some of these guys operate, and why do we not know how others operate? And then the bigger question is the manager allowed to have a philosophy or an identity, or is the front office just telling you, hey, this is our philosophy, and this is you're just the face,
right? And why wouldn't it be with this roster? Let's just size up the Cardinals roster right now. Why, with this roster, would you not lean fundamentals?
Mm-hmm. I think they started at the start of the season.
I think so too.
And then remember pitching. John Mozeliak, but John Mozeliak said it,
right?
Not Ollie Marmol. John Mozeliak said pitching. Which, fantastic. That's awesome. All of your starters right now, we're going to get into this a little bit later on, but I got the numbers here. I was reading our guy Bernie, and Bernie Michaelis, of course, the great Bernie Michaelis, who does great work, scoops with Danny Mac. He had the ERAs in August for the Cardinals starters, right? And we'll circle back to what you said, pitching. Sonny Gray, 4.74 ERA. That's your ace. Andre Palante, as good as he has been, 5.23 ERA in August. And we're only talking about a few starts, but still, these are eye-popping numbers. Eric Fetty, 5.63 ERA. Kyle Gibson, 6.13 ERA. And Miles Michaelis, who goes tonight against one of the best offenses in ever, Bob,
10.13 ERA. Now, 2 weeks ago, I brought up the FIP. That's out the window. Like, it doesn't matter. These guys stink. It doesn't matter anymore. Like, we could talk about some underlying numbers. The underlying numbers are not there either. So pitching. And you're right. That was Mo's thing.
That was his thing.
Then he gave him this.
Yeah, I know.
And the players have to perform. It's not just, we all like the Eric Fetty deal. So let's not be hypocritical. Like, hey, we won. Oh, it didn't work. We hate it. No,
but
we liked it.
I think this is what people expected from Lynn, Gibson, and Michaelis. And I think this is why Cardinal Nation was so irritated when those signings happened, because
it's fair.
Although on paper right away you're like, hey, got some strong veteran presence here. The result is what we're seeing right now. It's not good enough. I love Gibby. I think that he's a great dude, and he's performed pretty well for most of the season. But is the age catching up now? You're at the most pivotal part of the season. Lance Lynn is injured. Is that age-related? Wear and tear on a knee that now all of a sudden is buckling on him? Possibly. Steven Matz is a little older veteran guy. He can't stay healthy to save his life right now. Yeah. He'll be pitching tonight, by the way, in Memphis, so hopefully he doesn't get hurt again. But then you've got...
That's not even snark. That's just reality.
It's pretty much reality. It started out as snark, and as I said, I'm like, that's pretty accurate.
That's accurate, yeah.
Yep. And then you got Gibby, who's older as well, and he's starting to sputter. Michaelis is no spring chicken. Like, is the age of your rotation now crumbling because this is what you went and got?
Yeah. Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
Going back to Ollie Marmol, and you mentioned, obviously, what John Mozeliak has provided Ollie Marmol, I think... Right now, if I really had to take a magnifying glass and find a philosophy, I think it really comes down to platoon and bullpen.
Yes.
He's high. He is high on the bullpen, and this whole platoon.
Three guys.
Ollie? Well, probably both of
Someone's
them.
high.
And it's not Carey. He's not here today.
Yeah.
But
going back to yesterday's conversation,
with
you
the
missed
coffee.
That. Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Right. We're not quite sure.
But the platooning, that worked with Gabe Kepler.
For a year.
It worked for Gabe Kepler for a year. Yeah.
And I don't know.
Roster wasn't good enough.
But the roster, this team, you can't do that with every roster because it worked with another roster. You have to look and see what you have. And these guys don't profile to be platoon players.
I'm glad you brought that up. Do you remember what I said that same season when the Giants won 108 games, came out of nowhere? They did it that way where Gabe Kepler basically played two different games. First half with one set of guys based on the starter, second half with another set of guys. And it worked for that season. And some people brought up, hey, should the Cardinals take this approach? And I think the Cardinals wanted to be that and have wanted to do that. The problem is that lineup and that roster for the Giants was filled with platoon players. I mean, top to bottom. We're not talking about the Buster Posies and the Brandon Belts and not that team. It was all platoon guys. So it worked for one season. The Cardinals, in my opinion, do not have a roster full of platoon players.
They're trying.
Yet they still try to do it with, you have guys that, and I think this is for the majority of Major League Baseball, that need the ABs. They need, they're counting like Goldschmidt. The counting stats will be there, typically, if he plays all year. I wonder if that's going to be Jordan Walker at some point. Gorman, same deal. He'll hit you 30-something odd home runs. You outplay him consistently, though. And if you try to platoon these guys, they get out of rhythm, and then they wind up, well, you see it.
And there's a player that used to play for the Dodgers who was also in a similar situation, Jock Peterson.
Yes.
Where he had a fantastic, first run with the Dodgers, and then he became a platoon player, sort of lost what he was, and now you're starting to see him get regular at-bats, and now he's starting to be what you thought he would end up being.
Well, he was on that Giants team, too, and he was one of the guys they played pretty consistently. Now, you have the DH. You benefited there.
Sure.
But, yes, you're right. Jock Peterson's numbers are going to be there at the end of the year. It ain't going to be spectacular, but he's going to hit you 25 to 30 home runs. Gorman, I think, is in that category. But if you don't play him consistently, what benefit? You know the dude's going to strike out. He ain't going to hit 250. So what's the benefit? The benefit is him putting the ball at the yard for you. Doesn't do so on the bench. So there's a lot to figure out here. And I think as we talk about the identity thing, as we come full circle here, there's a lot to figure out for this front office. What the hell do you want to be, and what do you want the manager to execute? And if you're Ollie, and you're 2 seasons now, if you miss the playoffs again, what do you want this tenure to look like in St. Louis? You got the contract extension. What do you want this to look like?
Well, and I think you have to build a team that has an identity.
Yeah.
And even if it's hard, even if you have to squint to find it, then
at least you have one.
But then if you're Mo or you're Ollie, you tell the public, our identity is going to be base running. Our identity is going to be pitching. It's going to be hitting. It's going to be like whatever it is. So now people can go to the ballpark every night looking to see the team and their identity. Mm-hmm. Give them something to look for.
Even if it's, we have the best hot dogs in mid-America.
I don't care. Yeah.
You're not going to miss.
Whatever it is.
You don't want to miss.
The bacon-wrapped wiener.
The bacon-wrapped wiener. Put that thing in your mouth and come watch a Cardinals game. You know what I mean?
Salty.
Something.
Juicy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So good.
So good. Of course, wash it down with a tall, cool Budweiser.
Mm-hmm.
Know what I mean?
That'll cost you $37.
That's correct. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. We do have a mic drop that we want to throw out to you guys. If you want to participate, fantastic. Love to have you. If Ollie Marmol is to continue, if he continues to be the manager for the Cardinals, what do you want to see more of from him as a Cardinals manager? So what do you want him to do? If he is going to be the manager, what do you want him specifically to do? Besides win, of course. Don't leave us the win.
Yeah, if you give us just win, we're not
going to play it.
We're not playing it. Marsha, you hear that?
You could be funny.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You could be funny. That's fine. But
funny is certainly accepted.
Yes. But what do you want to see identity-wise, philosophy-wise? What do you want Ollie to do specifically? Leave us a mic drop via the 101 ESPN app. It's free to use. You probably listen. A lot of you are probably listening to it right now. Leave us a mic drop. The mic drop little feature there is on the app, on the bottom. Just hit it, and it'll take you to where you need to go. We'll play your mic drops throughout the course of the show. What's trending is next on 101 ESPN.
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. Time for What's Trending. So
we have a unique What's Trending.
We have a unique What's Trending. Hopefully people enjoy this.
They will love it.
So school doesn't start until next Tuesday for the Stalter kids.
Can't wait.
And my wife, Kristen, and I have been, trading places to work from home and all that stuff. Well, today, the kiddos had to come to work with Dad. So at least two of the three. So we have Killian, my son, who's 6, who's going into first grade, and then Madeline, who is 8, and she's going into third grade right now. And I think they're a little nervous, but we figured we'd throw some questions at them.
Yeah.
So the Stalter children are here right now.
There they are.
You guys can see yourselves on TV.
Look
You
it
see
up
it?
there. You can see yourselves on that TV over there.
Pretty cool.
Behind old DJ Marshy Marsh. All right, Killian. Killian, I have a question for you. What is your dad like as a flag football coach? Is he a good football coach?
We probably shouldn't show you the TV. All right, so speaking in the mic, what do you think?
Yes.
All right. Now, what position do you play in football?
Running back.
Yeah, there you go. How many yards did you have last season? You don't know. 40?
Did you score some touchdowns? Yeah. All right. Maddie, what do you like to do? I think you're a dancer, aren't you?
Yes.
You gotta speak into the mic, sweetie.
Yes.
There you go. Are you nervous?
Maybe.
Okay, so, Maddie, I got a question for you. Who's a better football player? Is it Lincoln or Killian?
Ooh.
Killian.
Yeah.
All
All right. Who's a better baseball player? So Lincoln's my 2-year-old. So who's a better Who do you think is going to be the better baseball player? Killian or Lincoln?
Lincoln.
You think Lincoln's going to be the better baseball player? Yeah. Killian, do you like your younger brother? Some days. Yeah. Killian, by the way, he's about to lose his 2 front teeth. So one of them is like poking out right now. And we're trying to get him to just wiggle
Killian,
the tooth.
I'll help you right out with that.
So Uncle Jamie here, he's got some teeth that are missing from his hockey days. Mm-hmm. So he's good. He's good with fake teeth.
Yeah, I got a great dentist I'll hook you up with, no problem at all.
Yeah.
Just some nice fake giblets in there. You'll be all set.
Matt, are you fixing your hair for the camera? A little bit. Yeah.
All right, so school's coming back on Tuesday. What's your favorite subject at school? What's your favorite class at school? Maddie, you go first.
Math.
You love math? Wow. Thank goodness somebody in the family can do that.
Yeah, no kidding. Absolutely.
That's great.
That
Killian?
wasn't mine. What's your favorite subject, Killian? Got talking to the mic, buddy.
Do you like math, geography, art, gym?
Yeah.
Talking to the mic, buddy.
I like recess.
Recess, yes. Doesn't fall too about. Apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
That was my favorite time at school, and then PE class was second.
Oh yeah.
So recess, basically recess 2.0.
Exactly. Yeah.
One thing.
Special.
What's that?
Is that your favorite special?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. They got specials. They got like, what do you guys have? Art, gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite thing.
Design.
I like it.
Killian's warming up here.
Yeah.
Nap time. Do they get nap time?
So Lincoln will get nap time at preschool.
We need more nap time. I think we need nap time at work.
Quite frankly, I think right before the 5 o'clock hour here in the fast lane, we could use a nap because I feel like for the 5 o'clock hour we get a little loose.
It gets goofy.
Yeah,
for sure.
It gets a little nutty.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So hey, what do you guys like the most about Dad?
Is it his chest hair?
This shouldn't be too long, guys.
I like about my dad.
Why are you talking like that?
His face.
Thank you.
Nice.
That's nice. That's awesome. I appreciate that.
Maddie, what's your favorite thing about your dad? Is it his him being funny? Is it him being goofy?
What do you not like about Dad?
Well, that might be easier.
Yeah. What do you not like about Dad?
And he stays in work too long.
Oh.
Wow.
That one hurt more than I thought it was going to be funny.
Anthony, how dare you?
I thought it was going to be a little funny, but
No.
that one just cut right through me.
So who's the better cook? Is it Mom or Dad?
Mom.
Oh, yeah? When's the last time you had your dad's pork chops, though?
Ooh.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Yummy.
You don't
Killian
like pork
doesn't
chops?
like pork chops.
I love pork chops.
There you
Yeah. All right.
Hate them.
What do you guys love about Mommy?
go. At least there was a pause. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's a
They
tie
are
game
thinking.
almost.
I think they're fascinated by this TV here.
Hey.
Her hair.
Her hair. She
hair.
does have lovely hair. Yes. What about you, Mads? You're on the spot here. I thought you'd do the more of the talking. What's one thing you love about Mommy?
That she's a good cook.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Cook.
All right. Then we'll
She's
take
a
it.
good cook.
Well, speaking of food, what is your favorite snack when you go to school? When you like breaking out the snacks at school, what's your favorite snack?
Chocolate muffins.
There we
Those are good. The
go.
little ones,
Yeah.
those are good.
No hesitation there.
Killian crushes those.
Those are good, buddy.
Killian's his diet consists of especially when the grandparents bring him stuff, is like Skittles, Snickers, ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
That's my man's diet.
I like it.
For the most part.
It's okay. You're
Yeah.
fine. You're built for speed, son.
Yeah, you are.
Doing great.
Yeah. All right. Nice job, guys.
Hang on, I got one more question
whoa,
for you.
I'm sorry, whoa.
I'm more interested in them than you.
Yeah,
okay?
I don't blame you.
Okay, so you guys just went to a Cardinals game last week, right? What'd you think of their starting rotation?
What do you think? Yeah. What did you think of the Cardinals game?
Good.
What
Good.
what food did you have at the ballpark? Did you get a hot dog, popcorn?
Hot dog, popcorn, Dippin' Dots.
What's your favorite, Maddie? What's your favorite?
Popcorn.
Popcorn. Maddie, what's your favorite to eat at the ball game?
Wait, no, Dippin' Dots.
The Dippin' Dots.
She likes the Dippin' Dots.
Dippin' Dots.
Yeah, those are good.
What do you guys think about the Cardinals this year? Good, bad?
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
What do you think?
Yeah, Maddie's
Yeah,
got it.
Maddie
Thumbs
knows.
down.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, there's still
he hasn't
hope in
been-
this
he has-
young man.
Yeah, I don't think he's been paying
He's
attention.
pure of heart.
Yeah. Yep, I think Maddie's got it. What do you guys think of the Cardinals with runners in scoring position?
Do we say poo-poo?
Yeah.
No.
We can.
What's your What's your favorite football team? Then we'll let you guys go back to watching TV in Daddy's office. What's your favorite football team, Killian? What's your favorite football team? Mr. Davis would love this.
Lions.
Oh, the boy is big.
The Lions.
Who's your favorite football team?
The Lions.
What about you, Maddie?
The Dolphins.
She likes
Nice.
She's not going to be swayed. Who's your favorite team, Killian? Come on.
The Lions.
Oh,
He knows what's up. He's got
Unbelievable.
Dan Campbell written all over him.
he was a Steelers fan coming in. Now
Was
he's
he?
a Lions
Carey's
fan
not
going
here.
out. Yeah,
Out of
exactly.
sight, out of mind, Anthony.
They're in Carey's seat. Yet,
Maddie's not talking.
what do you have to say, Killian?
Just get it out.
Yeah, get it out. What are
Nothing.
your thoughts? What are your thoughts on life?
Deep thoughts with Killian.
Yeah. All right, you're done. Marsh is gonna cut your mic. Hey, guys, say goodbye to the listeners.
Say bye. Say
Bye.
bye, St. Louis.
Yeah.
Bye, St. Louis.
Say
There we
thank
go.
you. Say thank you, guys.
Thank you.
There you go. All right. That's what's trending here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. So mom's hair and cooking and dad's face. That's what they like so far. All right, back to sports. What's the difference between being a competitive team and an actual contender? And I do think there's a difference. That's next on 101 ESPN. your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Just a real quick thank you to everybody. So that was completely Jamie actually came up with the idea of bringing the kids in here and put them on air for what's trending. I will say this: I greatly appreciate all our listeners because you guys are all kind. You all, I mean, it's one segment, but yet I know you guys, especially if you only have 15 minutes, you want your Cardinals news and things like that. But I appreciate all the kind words that you're saying with my little one. So thank you very much. It means a lot to me. And Jamie, you and I did horrible.
I know.
We could have asked
the mark on a few.
The listeners were fantastic. So the texters asked, we could ask Maddie about when she escaped the pool when I ran my face into it.
Yeah.
We could ask about the blue heron.
The sick bird.
They were there. Like, we missed so many hard-hitting questions with them. We didn't put them on the spot with some of this stuff.
Oh, that's the St. Louis media for you. They're
soft as hell.
Just
Completely soft.
Yeah. That was too easy for the kids.
We could have asked Maddie about the way she ducked out of that pool when I had blood streaming down my face. Like, I'm out of here. All right, but thank you. Seriously,
they did awesome, Anthony. They did great. I love it. I love it for so many reasons. One, it's great for them to be here and see what Dad does and kind of get a little vibe for it. Because kids don't know. They hear you on the radio, but they don't know what goes into it. Right. They don't know who you work with. They don't know what we look like and whatnot. And it's just great to let people behind the curtain a little bit.
Yeah.
We talk about our personal lives all the time. We talk about Lincoln and Maddie. So now people can, they've heard them, they've seen them. So
definitely. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thanks for all the kind words. Seriously. It means a lot to me. All right, guys. So what's the difference between being a competitive team and being a contender? And we thought about this yesterday when it comes to the Cardinals and, there's a large portion of the fan base that says, it's World Series or bust. It's championship or bust. That's it. We're the Cardinals. We've got the second most World Series, in baseball history behind the Yankees, the most in the National League. It is about titles here. And if you're not all in all the time, then you're not a true contender, which I think it's fair. However you want to feel about your Cardinals, you're right to do so. There's a long list of reasons why, with the history and everything like that this team should be a contender every single year. What they have become, though, and I think this is also fair, they have become a team that merely wants to be competitive. Like, that has been the thing that they have adopted. It is, we want to be competitive, and then we'll see what happens. And I think that is where the large disconnect is right now with the fan base. They look at it and they say, we don't want to just be competitive. Now you might say, I don't care, just give me the playoffs. But they don't merely want to be competitive. They want to be a contender. And you know it. You know the difference when you're a fan. Do the Cardinals operate like they want to be a true contender or merely competitive?
Well, I think they believe that they want to be a contender, but their actions, as far as what's that?
Say otherwise.
Yeah, their actions say otherwise. Like, as far as like the free agents that they acquire, the trades that they make, everything just hovers around that average. And maybe, and I'm going to say something that's probably going to be unpopular, but I'm going to say it anyways. 2006 and 2011 might be the worst things that ever happened to Cardinal baseball. Hear me out. Because those No. Like, I'm thrilled they won the championship. Two storybook seasons to end, unbelievable. Mm-hmm. But because those two teams limped in and won it, it's like the worst thing that's happened. Because then the Cardinals now, since that point, have kind of been like, hey, if we just get in, we got a chance.
Right.
We had a puncher's chance.
Yep.
And I feel like that's the way they have run this team, is just be good enough to get in. Just be good enough to be the best of the worst division. Like, whatever it is. And then we'll try our luck in the postseason. How's that worked out?
Not well.
It hasn't worked out well at all. So that's what I mean by that, is people cling to 2006 and 2011, but I would cite both of those championships as the origin of where the Cardinals just decided to be average or slightly above average and just try to win it in the playoffs.
Right. No, you're right. And you're not saying, let's be clear, you're not saying, let's take away those, because those are magical. But from like the aftermath, I agree with you.
That's what I'm saying.
I think you're absolutely right, Jamie.
I think, though, in 2013, 2012, now 2012 they were a wild card team. They beat the Braves.
Yeah.
And then they go play the Nationals. They beat the Nationals. 2013, though, they had a really good team. 2014, they had a good team. 2015, they had a really good team. They lost to the Cubs. And we brought this up yesterday. I brought this up yesterday. I really do think it's more so of the latest trend with how baseball has changed. I think baseball is different now than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But when I look at what the trends are from the wild card teams that have had deep postseason runs and have found ways to win the World Series, I think they're looking at that trend rather than the 2006-2011 one. Now, I don't disagree with you in a sense. I understand what you're saying, but I think it's more of the later trends. The problem is with the Braves, who won the World Series, or the Nationals, they added pieces though that really put them over the top. The Phillies, they already had a good lineup.
Right.
The Cardinals aren't in the same ilk though, and they don't necessarily go out and get the pieces to make them a better team in the offseason and especially at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
We saw that this year. Like Eric Fetty and Tommy Pham are fine. They're not going to win you a World Series though.
It's always fine, isn't it? Doesn't it always feel that way? And maybe we're being unfair because they did acquire Goldschmidt and he won an MVP here. Nobody balked at the Nolan Arenado deal, not one bit. I mean that was an elite player this year, and I think for the most part he's been a really good Cardinal. You haven't won anything with him, but still he's been a good Cardinal. But like they have not gone out and said, hey, here they have not stamped the offseason. They have not stamped the trade deadline. It's just been, it's fine. Yeah, I like it.
Along those lines, we get a text from the 636. Says, Rivs, the other side of the double-sided sword is the Dodgers spend and spend, but only have 2 World Series in the last 14 years. I agree, okay? But do Dodgers fans every single year feel like they're a contender?
Yes.
Every year.
Right.
They haven't won every year, but the fans go to the ballpark every night expecting to see a win. Mm-hmm. And when the playoffs come, they're expecting to see a team win around, get to the championship, maybe get to the World Series. Like that's the expectations.
Yeah.
Because that's what the Dodgers have built. Shohei Ohtani, I mean, just name it. Mookie Betts, all the big names.
Yeah. So
that's more what I'm talking about is the Cardinals fans don't expect a World Series. Last how many years? They're like, nah, team's fine. I mean, they're a playoff team, but maybe with some luck.
I'll go to my handful of games, and that'll be it.
To your point, Jamie, the Dodgers, when they don't win the World Series, the next year they go out and they get the players that can ultimately put them over the top. They try and correct their deficiencies, where the Cardinals sort of do that. Yeah, we don't have pitching. Well, we got 3 pitchers.
Right.
Okay, but are they really moving the needle, or are they essentially making you a slightly better team?
The Dodgers put their mark on the offseason. The Cardinals fill needs.
And another reason why the Dodgers can come, or go in at the trade deadline and get all these big-time players is because they continue to produce talent in the minor league system.
They do, and that is often overlooked. The Cardinals will never be able to spend like the Dodgers do. They don't have the market size. They don't have the TV contract, like the big TV contract. Mm-hmm. Could they spend more? Yeah, that's a different conversation. They're never going to be in the same hemisphere as the Dodgers when it comes to their spending. Can you spend wiser? And can you build the farm system? Because you're right, Marsh, going back to it. The most overlooked aspect about the Dodgers and their spending habits is whether or not they have a good farm system. And they do. Mm-hmm. They continuously have a great farm system.
And they're getting rid of these players, too. They continue to churn out player after player.
Yeah, you flip Verdugo for Mookie Betts. I mean, and Verdugo's now the leadoff hitter for the Yankees.
Who's the donkey in Boston that made that trade?
Well, was it? I don't think it's Bloom, was it? It was, wasn't it? It's kind of his whole thing.
Chaim Bloom. I wonder where he's at these days.
I don't know if that was necessarily his...
It's his tenure. Look it up, fella.
Idea, though. I think
was his tenure for sure.
I think ownership was really pushing for that.
You could keep Betts or Devers. That might have been the conversation. Because Boston started to...
He's still traded.
That was a horse bleep trade.
Oh, for sure.
One of the best all-around baseball players in the league has been traded. A Gold Glove outfielder who's now playing shortstop, mind you.
Like, that was a bad deal at the time.
Yeah.
That was a horrible deal at the time. And it looks even worse now that Verdugo is playing for the Yankees and doing quite well. Like, just terrible.
You traded for a guy, now he's with your biggest rival.
Seriously. We do have a mic drop from Joe, and then we're going to play the lineup game in the next segment. Zoosh in the snake pit, he asked, going back, he said, hey, Anthony, are you having your boys pitch? Killian's a lefty. So I actually started having him throw. And I had Madeline step up into the batter's box and say, hey, do your best, just, quite frankly, I told her, crush this kid. Let's go. Typical lefty. He dotted her in the knee.
I was going to say,
he dotted her
back.
He dotted her in the shoulder. She was crying. We weren't using real baseballs. We were using like those softs, T-ball balls. Yeah. But yeah, she was crying. I mean, typical lefty, dotted her on everything.
Would have been great if she charged the mound.
She should have, honestly. Yeah.
With the bat, just to send a message.
He's pretty fast, but she got long arms. All right, here is Joe, who left us a mic drop.
Guys, I would like to see this Cardinals front office and Ollie be a lot more creative. For instance, allowing young guys to come up like McGreevy and Graceffo and let them go 5, 6, 7 innings in their major league debut, unless, of course, they're not pitching well, and just see what they have in the tank. Let them go for it. And then I think defensively, too, mixing and matching. If Gorman's not working at second base, trade him. DFA him, I don't care. If he's really not working for you, there's no point in just sitting him on the bench. Put somebody else at second base, call somebody up from the minors, make a trade, whatever. Do something creative. Don't just switch guys out from the bench to the field every other day. That's not interesting. We're not watching interesting Cardinals baseball right now, and I'd love to see them change that because that's really what Cardinals baseball is. I grew up watching Tony La Russa manage the Cardinals. That was interesting right there. All the mixing and matching, we need to see more of that.
I like what Joe said, especially at the start there. When Joe talked about the young players getting more of a chance and just giving them the runway. I don't know how much, and Joe, maybe Joe was saying the same thing, but I don't know how much that is a Ollie decision and how much that is a John Mozeliak decision, because Mo has the roster. That's always been this way. Mm-hmm. Mo has the roster, the manager has the lineup. I don't know if it's a Mo thing or a Ollie thing in terms of playing the young guys.
Ollie can only play what's on his roster.
Yes.
And right now, Graceffo and McGreevy are not on his roster.
Walker is, and he's not. And Gorman is, and he's not. So maybe both are at fault. But I like what Joe said in terms of giving a bit of a runway to these younger guys.
Absolutely.
Just roll, especially if you're not winning.
If you end up another, let's say... They've got some tough games ahead of them here.
Name one.
Yeah, all of them. Okay. For the next 22 games, I think is what it is. Anyways, if you fall 6, 7 games out of the third wild card spot, which could happen. 3 games from now, you could be 7 games back from the Braves.
It is in play.
If that happens, I think you have to go into full youth movement. Like Graceffo, McGreevy, they come up. Lance Lynn, you stay on the IL. Michaelis, looks like you twisted your ankle. Maybe you're on the IL too. We're going to roll out Sonny Gray because you paid your money for him. He's going to pitch.
Yep.
And I would Graceffo, McGreevy, Palante, and then whoever else. Gibson. Or Fetty because he's going to be under.
Oh, yeah, Fetty.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Jeez. Doesn't that say everything right there?
I'm just saying. That's what I would do. I would call up Luke and Baker and let them DH. Platoon DH off the bench. Let's see what you got here.
I'd rather see the youth movement, quite frankly.
Totally agree.
We've got a lineup, which means we'll play the lineup game next on 101 ESPN.
baby.
We got a lineup. We don't know who the pitcher is going to be for the Dodgers.
It's some guy with the initials TBD.
TBD. Oh, that is Thomas Buford
Dickerson. I think he's an RHP.
Call him Dicky.
Yep.
Buford.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, how's Ollie going to put his lineup out there?
Right.
Well, this is a serious problem.
That's true. I'm shocked the lineup is even out, quite frankly.
Wow.
How was he able to accomplish this?
They must have some inside information, right? Like, you can't know.
You probably have an
pitching,
idea. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you have some idea. Okay.
Justin Robleski is what I'm being told. Thank you. From our guy, Mike Ryder. Now, I've never heard of that guy.
Oh, Roby?
Oh, boy. You know what this is, right?
We're going to get shut out.
This is CG.
Yeah, and it's going to be a no-hitter.
Yep.
Watch. When there's somebody we've never heard of, they come out and they just shove.
It was either somebody you never heard of or Bud Norris. Like Bud Norris used to jam it so far up the Cardinals, you know what. And then he became a Cardinal, and that's how eventually Matheny got fired.
Apparently, he's an LHP, according to Katie Wu.
Okay.
We got that from the text line. The text line's never wrong.
Yeah. Okay, so still win, right? No reason to go against.
We're not going to win.
No, sorry. No, good question. Good statement. Mason win is what I meant.
Oh, yeah. That win is fine, yeah. Show us, Mason win.
I'm watching the Futures game, and this thing's all over Instagram. It's like, this guy threw a ball 100 across the time. That's awesome, but, like, how many throwing errors does he have?
Shut up! Okay, so against left-handed pitching, this has been Wilson Contreras.
If it's an LHP, I think Ollie's predictable, and this winds up being Contreras. Show us Wilson Contreras.
DH.
No.
Adjustment. Check. All right. And this has been Alec Burleson, but if we're doing the whole Ollie thing here, it might be Tommy Pham here. If we're doing the right-handed bats.
I think we have to do the old. He seems to be living and dying on this.
I don't know though. With a bullpen day, like you could 2 innings and you could be on to the next pitcher. So I don't know if the platoon theory works.
I don't know if he will be just a bullpen guy, like a bullpen, an opener. The last time he pitched, he pitched July 27th, went 5 2/3.
All right, hold on. Let me look at this site here. I can tell you whether or not how many pitches he's projected for if they got it up. But I do think this would be Tommy Pham. He's a lefty. The pitcher's a lefty. Therefore, I think it would be Pham. But, Jamie, we're a team. We're united. What do you think?
I want it to be him. So show us Tommy Pham.
I mean, I've been in some real pain before. I've been stabbed.
So this is going to be Nolan Arenado then?
Yes.
Show us. Nolan Arenado!
He's a Gold Glove winner and perennial All-Star.
Oh, listen to Mr. Gold Glove over here.
Come on.
83.
Okay, so he's going to go.
He's there.
This is your guy here. RL Chalk. I did Nolan Arenado.
Okay, show us Paul Goldschmidt.
Gold! Rich with gold! Gold!
Okay. I have to ask us, do you think Jordan Walker's in the lineup tonight?
Yes, I do. I think he's 7th.
You'd think he'd have to be, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think this is Donovan.
I do too.
All right. Show us Brendan Donovan.
Donnie.
Hey, this headband's pretty cool.
Go ahead, Jamie.
I think this is Jordan
Let's
Walker.
walk it like it's odd.
Show us Jordan Walker.
What's his angle?
What angle?
Launch!
Launching now.
Okay. Now, this traditionally has been Petey Pages with the LHP on the bump.
Yes.
Show us Petey Pages.
He is. He's doing it.
He's totally doing it. And this is going to be
Victor Scott.
Victor Scott.
Show us Victor Scott.
Great Scott. Too fast, too fast.
Focus. Speed.
Do we celebrate that? Or?
Speed.
Yeah, that was copy and paste.
Yep.
He's becoming copy and
He
paste.
certainly is.
No Burleson. Burleson's been your best hitter consistently throughout the season. And we're not going to play him.
Nope.
And he's batted against left-handed pitching all
Quite
year.
well.
All
Yep.
year.
Yep.
I'm whatever.
Well, at least Jordan Walker's in the lineup. That's nice.
Nice to get him in for a second game since he's been recalled.
Easy. Marshy, why don't you run it?
All right, leading off, the shortstop, Mason Wynn. Batting second, the DH, Wilson Contreras. Batting third in left field, Tommy Pham. Your cleanup hitter, third baseman, Nolan Arenado. Batting fifth, first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt. The sixth hitter, second baseman, Brendan Donovan. Batting seventh in right field, Jordan Walker. Back in the lineup. Batting eighth, catching, Pedro Pajes. And batting ninth in center field, Victor Scott the second.
Back. Stay fair! Stay fair! Stay fair!
Go fair, go fair!
I don't believe what I just saw!
Home run.
All right.
Jamie?
It's Marshy's up.
Jamie, you're gonna wait a second while Marshy goes?
All righty. Now I believe everybody has wanted this guy back in the lineup. And he's back at home. I wanted to wait a little bit before I made this move because I want it to be more special. You know? Give me Jordan Walker tonight to hit a home run.
Okay. I am going to go with, let's see here. Alec Burleson.
Off the bench?
Yep.
Okay. I believe CD sent us some options here. Let's see here. Let's go through the old text chain. Walker, then Contreras. So he'll have Contreras since Marsh took Walker. You know what? Give me Goldie. Why not? Why the hell not?
All right. There you have it.
Give me Yukon Cornelius for the win. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We got our NFL divisional preview. AFC East is next. And this is perhaps the most interesting division in all of football. We got some topic-related questions to that division next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight as they invite Shohei Ohtani into town. Miles Michaelis on the mound for the Redbirds. We'll get into this starting rotation later in the show, so stay tuned for that. Jordan Walker is back in the lineup as we just played the lineup game. He will bat seventh, and he will play in right field. First pitch tonight is at 7:15. If you've missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We are diving into the NFL divisions leading up to the start of the NFL season. And we're going to dive into the AFC East coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Time to go around the NFL with a Fast Lane season preview of the AFC East.
That's right. We moved on to the AFC East, and I don't know how you guys feel, but I think that this is the most interesting division in all of football because it can go any which way, save for the Patriots. So if we can get them out of the way first.
What?
I think that the Patriots will have the number one overall pick come April. I think that will be the worst team in the National Football League. I know the Panthers exist. I know that no, it's Patriots.
I feel like the Panthers are going to be a lot better this year.
I think that the Panthers could win like 3 or 4 games this year, which would be a marked improvement.
I said they're going to be a lot better this year.
That's true.
Yeah, poor Patriots. Damn.
I mean, you think about the teams that are dreadful this season or have been dreadful in previous years. They're all better than New England, at least on paper.
New England has nothing.
No.
I was going through their roster the other day just for fun. They don't have anything.
No.
Like, nothing.
They just traded the one guy they had, which was, well, actually, Ramondre Stevenson is a stud at running back.
Yeah, but that's like Steven Jackson when he played for the Rams.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They just traded Matthew Judon to Atlanta, so that was the only other guy they had.
Yeah.
The Broncos should be slightly better than the Patriots. The Panthers should be slightly better than them.
The Cardinals will be.
Titans, Giants. I think the Commanders will be multiple games better than them. I could see the Raiders completely falling apart, but not to the level of the Patriots. Like, they're going to be dreadful.
Right, Anthony, I get it. Okay.
You like that?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Moving on. Let's talk about the Dolphins. So they were steamrolling to an AFC East title last year and then fell apart in the second half. Wound up having to go on the road against Kansas City in one of the coldest playoff games known to ever, Bob. Do you think that the Dolphins this year can turn that around, or do you think it's the same playbook for them?
This is the biggest wild card for me, is the Dolphins. Like, what version are you going to get? And Tyreek spent some time on the sidelines last year, too. What he missed? 3-4 games?
Did he miss a handful of games?
I think he missed a couple.
Either way.
Yeah, Tua, what does that look like? I do think they're the best team in this division, but will they finish first?
Right.
The roster's pretty solid. Defensively, they're fine. Offensively, obviously, they have a lot of weapons.
I'm going to predict the same thing that I did a year ago with the Dolphins. I think they come out of the gates like a bat out of hell. Mm-hmm. Their offense is going to be problematic again this year. You look at that. I mean, Tyreek Hill keeps, I always say this, there's guys that are number ones or the top options in their offense, and then there's Tyreek Hill. Defensive coordinators stay up all night trying to figure this guy out, try to game plan for him, and he still winds up wide ass open. Mm-hmm. That's a credit to Mike McDaniel. It's a credit to Tua for being accurate. Tyreek Hill's a stud. They got Jalen Waddle. I don't think Odell Beckham is is anything these days.
But he's a nice
done.
accent piece.
He's
if
fine.
nothing else,
as a
he's
third.
a distraction, or he's option 2.
Right. That's fine. I like the running backs. This Devon Achane came out of nowhere last year. Raheem Mostert is still there. They've got a really good offense. You're right about the defense, but they've got some. I actually like their defensive line with Phillips, Campbell, and Bradley Chubb, who's a linebacker. I like their front seven a lot, and Jalen Ramsey's their corner. They've got more than enough talent, but are they playoff built? I don't think so. When the weather starts to get a little bit colder, they got to go on the road late in the year.
If they have to.
If they have to, that's the key, right?
Yeah.
Because if they wind up hosting a playoff game, that's a different story. It's South Beach.
Well, if they finish first in the conference, they host games till the Super Bowl.
Can they win enough games to host at least a playoff game? That's going to be the key with them.
I've got them winning the division.
Do you?
I do.
I think I do too. Buffalo's a tough one.
The next two are, I don't even know.
So we'll save the JETS just for last. Carey and I have a slight disagreement on Buffalo. I think that the demise of the offense has been greatly overstated. I know losing Stephon Diggs isn't good. I realize that you take away a key weapon there. I get that. I'm not refuting that. But can this offense still be efficient? I think it can.
Two tight ends.
When they played with 2 tight ends last year, they were very efficient in the passing game. And when you have Josh Allen, you have a chance. You have a chance to move the football. You get in the red zone where that moose is difficult to bring down. That's a problem. Can they run the football? They did a little bit last year with James Cook. I don't think the offense is going to take this massive step back. Where I think the problems are going to lie is on defense. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I've gone back and forth with somebody on Twitter, JP, who rightly called me out yesterday for saying they have to completely overhaul the secondary. It's just the safeties they have to redo. But I think that the defense, losing Matt Milano, I think that's going to be significant.
I would argue, and this might be unpopular, but I would argue that the offense is even better this year without Stephon Diggs.
Interesting.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
We know already that every wide receiver is always wide open. And we know already that every superstar wide receiver is always in the ear hole of the quarterback, the ear hole of the offensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
Whoever will listen. And I think at times Josh Allen, with that offense, was isolating Stephon Diggs, like trying to find him. And when he wasn't open, a little too late for the check down 2 and check down 3, and then plays where that's where he gets himself in trouble. Mm-hmm. That's when he tries to throw a football through the eye hole of a needle, which we know that can't happen. Intercepted, batted down, or he takes a sack because he's waiting for the next option. He's waiting for Stephon Diggs. Right. I think this here, it might relax Josh Allen to where he knows, like technically, football-wise, my first option's right there. If I look up, it's not taken, I'm moving on right away. Check down 2, check down 3, I'm running the ball, I'm out. Like whatever. Like I think it's going to make the process easier for him.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
I think they're going to be less dynamic and explosive. They're going to be more efficient.
There you go.
And let's not overlook Keon Coleman. He's a hell of a player.
I mean, he can make people forget fairly quickly that you lost both those guys. Not only Diggs, but Gabe Davis, who wound up being a really good player for them.
I think the one blemish, though, is the fact that you don't have that one big-time wide receiver in those key moments when you need to give that guy the ball. You don't necessarily have that guy, and you kind of need that guy to make a big play. And I don't know if they have that. And who knows if Coleman can be that.
Maybe Coleman will.
Maybe he will. But
we'll find out.
This year, maybe not. That doesn't mean he can't become that type of player. But, you know, not every rookie wide receiver ends up being one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Yeah.
But who knows?
This year's class could be.
It could.
I mean, Marvin Harrison already looks like a pro, which is no surprise given who his father was. Malik Neighbors already looks good. I know it's preseason. I know it's preseason. I know it's training camp. All right. The Jets. So this is where the interesting lies. This is the most interesting team in football based on, you could really see, you could convince me that they're a legitimate threat in the AFC. You could also very easily convince me that they'll continue to be the Jets and they're combustible, and you have plenty of reasons and plenty of examples from this offseason to suggest that the Jets are going to be the Jets again. Mm-hmm. Hassan Reddick, Aaron Rodgers, the Garrett Wilson thing, Robert Saleh looks like he's in over his head. All of that. Then you look at the roster, you're like, hot damn, this is a pretty good roster. Mm-hmm. So this thing could go any which way.
So listening to a couple of the national guys talking football, and one of them, I forget, I don't want to just say a name because I could be wrong because it was on the radio. Anyways, one of them said that he sees the Jets narrowly missing the playoffs. And then the very next guy said, I have them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there you go.
So if that tells you where we're at here with the Jets, and the reasons behind the narrowly missing the playoffs is because it's going to be a bit of a sideshow. Players are unhappy. Robert Saleh's not a great coach. All of these things happening so that the Jets are going to jet, basically.
Absolutely.
But then the flip side of that is, the other guy said, well, the flip side is everything connects.
Right.
Hassan Reddick, all of a sudden, he doesn't care. He just wants to go get paid because he's going to go sack the quarterback 100 times.
Yep.
You got Rodgers who's going to want to get back into MVP form.
The defense is loaded.
Yeah.
Loaded. It has been loaded for like 3 years now.
I could see the Jets making the playoffs, but they've been so bad. Whereas Robert Saleh, to me, he doesn't have any experience coaching in big-time games. Why
as a head coach, no.
Yeah, as a head coach.
Yeah.
But why do we see the same teams every year at the same time of the year? Because they have experience. The coach knows what they're doing. Mm-hmm. The head coach, this isn't Major League Baseball. The head coach matters.
Yes.
In football.
Yep.
And we talk about all the time. Time management. Little things like that. I don't know if the Jets have that in their capability to essentially win those games. Aaron Rodgers with the Packers.
Yeah.
One year they won the Super Bowl. Other than that, we always make jokes like Aaron Rodgers can't win against the 49ers. Mm-hmm. Matt LaFleur kicks they kick the field goal and Aaron Rodgers, they don't get the ball back. And little things like that. I just can't see the Jets when it really comes down to we need to win this game late in the year. I don't see it.
So to your point, there's a reason why the Ravens and the Steelers and those teams are often making the playoffs because they've got a playoff-built roster, a roster that is physical and tough and can win in January, win in December. A lot of these track teams, like the Dolphins are a track team. The Colts were a track team with Peyton Manning, but they had one of the best to ever do it, so they were consistently good. But they were a track team, right? You had these teams that everything's got to kind of go right for them to win it all. For the Saints in 2009, everything went well. Everything went right. They were a really good team. But they would often come up short in the playoffs. Why? They were really battle-tested. Mm-hmm. You got to be physical. You got to be a physical team to win in that environment. I think the Jets could be, but like you said, the experience isn't there. Yeah. One more thing on Aaron Rodgers, too. Something that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. So last year he missed all of the season because of the Achilles, right? The Achilles injury has been devastating for a lot of players. I don't know if it's going to be the case for a quarterback. We'll find out. And we'll find out not only with Rodgers, but with Kirky Cousins. But the other thing is this. Listen to these numbers. 3,695 passing yards. That was his lowest number. If he played an entire season, that was his lowest number since ever. Because the other seasons, it was 7 games. That's when he had like 1,600 yards. He threw for well under 4,000 yards his last year in Green Bay. 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. His average yards per attempt was 6.8, which is the lowest of his career in a season that he's played a full year. Aaron Rodgers won great that last year in Green Bay. That was 2 years ago. He's 41 now. And when everybody thought, well, those damn receivers. Those receivers are terrible. Same group of receivers that Jordan Love had no issue with a year ago. So just to assume that Aaron Rodgers is going to be Aaron Rodgers again, I think, is kind of taking a big step, too. A big leap.
I agree.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. How can the Blues offer sheets help both teams? Jamie's got an interesting scenario that he'll throw at you next on 101 ESPN.
You're in the fast lane. Coming to you live.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Carey Davis is on his way to Illinois. Watch a little Illini football.
Boy, that lucky devil. Carey, if you're listening, you know you're laughing.
Hey, you could be a 6-win team this year.
No.
Sure they got a lot of blood donors on that schedule, no? 6 wins?
Not that many.
Okay. Fair enough. Jamie, you outlined to Marsh and I in the office today kind of an interesting scenario in regards to the Blues, their offer sheets for the two Oilers players. How the Blues can offer those offer sheets actually could help both teams. What is it?
Yeah, so obviously right now the Oilers are backed into a corner right now because they don't have nearly enough cap space to match the offer sheets that the Blues have put in on Philip Broberg and Holloway. They are rumored to be shopping two defensemen right now in Cody Ceci and Brett Kulak to try and open up some cap space, but teams aren't going to just take that extra cap space on. They're going to want the Oilers to spice up the deal. So now, can the Oilers afford to trade two of their defensemen that are on their core right now, plus add draft picks in there just to clear up cap space for an inflated Broberg contract and an inflated Holloway contract? I don't know if that's good business. I'm not sure. But they are kicking some tires out there around the league right now just to see. But the interesting scenario is that for everybody to come out of this relatively unscathed is there's two things that could happen. One, the Oilers can just let the players walk, get the second and the third rounder for compensation, and that's it. We live to fight another day. We've got the cap space for our team, but we're depleted now of two of our youngest players that we had a lot of hope in as far as these kids developing into pillars of your team. Or Stan Bowman picks up the phone and he calls Army and says, listen, I'm not going to be able to match your offer sheet, okay? However, once you get these two players, you are going to have an absolute overflow of players on your roster. So two things. Either why don't we match the number and then make a trade, or we let them walk and then you make a trade with us. So the second and the third rounder would go automatically to the Oilers. Now, as a follow-up to that, Stan Bowman can say to Army, we would like to take one of your young left-handed shot defensemen off your hands. So is it Tucker? Is it Perunovich? Is it Joseph? One of those guys? Army could say, sure, because Army does have a roster problem at that point.
Right.
Once Broberg signs, it's 10 defensemen, including Torrey Krug, that you have on your back end. It's too much, obviously. So then Army could potentially send Scott Perunovich to the Edmonton Oilers or another left-handed shot defenseman. I think Scott Perunovich would probably make the most sense because the Oilers would be looking for a young, talented, upside defenseman. And I think Scott Perunovich still carries that value. The twist to this, though, is you also have a player on potentially being put on the LTIR. And I'm going to dig into this as we're talking, but that player is Torrey Krug. What if Doug Armstrong approached Torrey Krug and said, we'd like to trade you to the Oilers? Now, at first, you're like, oh, Edmonton. But Torrey Krug's a power play defenseman.
Yes.
How good's the power play for the Oilers?
It's pretty damn good.
You think pretty good way to end your career, maybe, passing the puck to Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and all those other guys.
And just rejuvenate what your legacy would be in the NHL, because right now it's essentially diminished from what it was in Boston.
Yeah, I agree. So if we pull up the Blues here on my new favorite page, we don't have Cap Friendly anymore. We have Cap Wages, which is super user-friendly, by the way, and it looks just like Cap Friendly. Lawsuit probably pending. Just saying. So if you look at Torrey Krug's situation, he's got a no-trade clause till the end of this season. And then that no trade clause has a list of teams. I think it goes to like 10 teams or something like that. It's substantially more workable for a team to trade him after this next season, which, by the way, he's not playing all season. He's not playing all season, so it doesn't matter where he's at type thing. So not only can you tempt him by sending him to Edmonton where they have a powerhouse offensively, now you've got a situation you say, Torrey, next summer, we're thinking about trading you anyways,
right?
And you don't have a full no-trade clause. So at least now you know you're going to a good competitive team instead of us just unloading it and sending you to wherever for the last 3 years of your deal, or last 2 years of your deal, mind you. So I think that there's that, and I think the Oilers would have an appetite to do it, and the reason being is that the moment they would acquire Torrey Krug, if he is in fact out for the season, they can slap that 6.5 onto their salary cap. They can take that off of their salary cap.
And all signs point to him being out, because I don't know if Doug Armstrong necessarily does this if he is in fact going to play.
Do you think Army's going to load up the cupboards with 6, 7? Now I get the right number. 7 left-handed shot defensemen.
I don't think so.
All on one-way contracts, by the way.
Yeah, I think there's something that has not come out yet, but these are like, there's sort of breadcrumbs as to what's happening. And we talk about being proactive. I mean, if this is what the game plan is, what you just mapped out, this guy's thinking 2 years ahead.
Yes.
Which you need to do if you want to be a successful organization. You can't just live in the now, which I think is what the Cardinals do, where they sort of live in the now. Oh, we'll be patient. We'll see what this team does. Now, Army is being proactive. I'm not thinking about this year, because I feel like deep down he knows this particular team is not a Stanley Cup team.
Yeah.
He's looking for years down the road. And if this is the case, I think that's an excellent move.
It's an opportunity to get a big contract off the books, and it's an opportunity for the Oilers at the same time to get themselves a solid, veteran defenseman. So either scenario works for the Oilers, whether they acquire Scott Perunovich or Torrey Krug. And this is a situation then where it's not such a stab through the heart if Army sends a player back the other way.
And they don't feel necessarily that they need to retaliate when your restricted free agents become...
Or whoever,
restricted,
right? It ends up looking like a good faith deal at that point. And I think it helps both teams. And that's why I talked to you guys. I said, I think both offer sheets can help both clubs here. Blues end up with the 2 players that they wanted. The Oilers get a second and a third round pick, which is what they need because they've gotten rid of a lot of those picks over the years because they've acquired certain veteran players. And at the same time, maybe you send a defenseman back the other way, and it solves that problem for them, too, from a roster construction standpoint.
How would Torrey Krug's contract fit in with what they're trying to do for that following season? Because that is the year that Leon Draisaitl will be a free agent.
Correct. And so the way I look at it is, and it might be a rough road for Torrey Krug here. It might be, because once he goes to the Oilers, and if the trade were to happen,
he could be traded to another team.
The Oilers could then trade him in the offseason to another team where he would have no control over it.
Now, would his no trade with the selected amount of teams, does that carry over to where he would be in Edmonton?
Follows the contract.
Okay.
Follows the contract. And so if the Oilers have him on their roster, and let's say they want to trade because they said 6.5 is too rich for our blood over here, we need to move this money again, they can pick one of the teams that is not on his list, go negotiate a trade, and move him along.
I mean, that would suck for him for sure, especially when you think you are planting roots right here in St. Louis for probably what you think is the rest of your career.
So I think that was the plan, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's business, and that's how sports goes.
But there's also a small part of me, and I don't know anything about this, so nobody think I've got some inside information. I don't. There's also a small part of me that says this injury could potentially affect the rest of his career too. So what if he's one of those players that has a surgery on his ankle or his leg, whatever's going on there, and it's never quite right again? What if he's Gabriel Landeskog?
Yeah, we haven't heard from him in a while.
Right? What if he's Marian Hossa that developed that skin condition? What if he's like some of these guys that, and we know what happens, their rights get bounced all over the NHL for LTIR relief, and they end their careers being paid to sit at home, basically.
And there's no more Arizona Coyote team either, so.
Correct. But somebody will take on, see, the Coyotes used to take it just to hit to the floor of the salary cap. Teams will take that now to put that on the LTIR to get cap relief. So it's a windy, crazy road, but I feel like there could be more to these offer sheets by the time everything is said and done.
And we got a text from the Air Comfort Service text line from the 314. This is chess, not checkers. I think, Army, if this is exactly what he's trying to do, I said it before, I think it's a brilliant move.
I think so, too. I love the strategy. I love the aggressiveness. On Tuesday, we'll find out for sure what the heck is going on, who's going where, and who's staying. But it's going to be a lot of fun to watch it in the process. It's time for the Gauntlet, and we do need a new Gauntlet contestant. So please type in the word Gauntlet to the Air Comfort Service text line. That number's 314-399-9646. Gauntlet next.
4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
403, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Jamie Rivers and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. And Marsh, I'm gonna let you introduce our Gauntlet contestant today.
All right, so we have Alex, whose birthday is on Monday, and he texted in because we've had some Gauntlet contestants who have said, hey, it's my birthday, and we wish him a happy birthday. Some people actually lie about their birthday.
I was going to say, do we get a picture of his ID, please?
So, Alex...
and the Soch. Maybe a major credit card, just
Mother's
to be sure.
maiden name, the first street that you lived on.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Alex texted in, my birthday's Monday, and I'm trying to be proactive like Doug Armstrong and the Blues rather than reactive like Mo and the Cardinals. I found that to be funny.
Boy.
That was pretty funny, yeah.
We have Alex on the line.
Alex, well said, my man, and happy early birthday. How are you?
Good, and thank you. How are you, Salt?
We're doing good, brother. Appreciate you. Happy Friday to you. So you don't have...
I'm doing good too, Alex.
Well, I was the one talking, so...
Hi, Riz. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, thanks, buddy.
All right, Alex, no CD, but you do have Marsh, Jamie, and me as an option. Who would you like to take on?
I'm in a little bit of a revenge spot, so I'm going to go Stalter.
Oh,
revenge? Did I beat you?
What did you do to him, Anthony?
Oh, no. What happened, Alex?
You beat me when it was when we chose you for football, BT for baseball, me for
Gauntlet 1.0.
Well, I hope you've studied your hockey and/or random, because that's all I'm getting these days.
Hopefully you stay as well. Good luck.
All right. Good luck to you.
All right, Anthony's going to make his way to the cone of silence. Alex, what I need from you right now is for you to tell Marshy to spin that wheel.
Marshy, spin that wheel.
All right, buddy. What do you want here? What do you want to see in the categories?
Either football or hockey.
Oh. Well, it is your birthday weekend, we'll call it, right?
Yes.
I have a present for you. It spun hockey.
All right, I'll take that.
Yeah, Anthony always gets hockey or random. Well, he got hockey. Here's how it's going to work. As you know, there'll be 4 questions, each question worth 2 points. If you use the options and answer the question correctly, it's worth 1 point. If you get it wrong, 0 points. If we're tied after 4 questions, we will go to a tiebreaker and we will get a winner here in the Gauntlet today. Alex, are you ready?
Yes, I am, Jamie.
All right, here we go. Question 1. 2 players in the NHL last season hit 100 assists. Name these 2 players.
I'm going to go with Connor McDavid and Nikita Kucherov. Final answer.
Question number 2. At one point last season, the Blues led the NHL in shorthanded goals. Which team finished the season with the most shorthanded goals with 16?
Kind of the options, please, Marcy.
Options are the St. Louis Blues, the Philadelphia Flyers, or the New York Rangers.
I'll go Flyers. Final answer.
All right, Alex. Question 3. The Blues opened the season with 3 games on the road in Seattle, Anthony's favorite, San Jose, and Las Vegas. Then they open up their home schedule against which team?
I'm drawing a blank right now. Options, please.
Is it the Minnesota Wild, the San Jose Sharks, or the Vegas Golden Knights?
Minnesota Wild. Final answer.
Question number 4. The most wins in a Blues regular season in franchise history is 52. Which coach led that Blues team to 52 wins?
That would be Joe Quenneville. Final answer.
All right, Alex, let's get our guy Anthony back in here. How you feeling, buddy?
Not too bad. Hey, Jamie.
Yep.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
When are you going to do the Waffle House challenge? My brother created that challenge. He's wondering.
if I would have actually wagered, I'd do it. These two psychopaths made the wager without me. I wasn't even here.
Oh, the waffle challenge?
Yeah. Alex is all over me for the Waffle House challenge.
In fairness to Marsh and I, that was actually a texter that came up with that, and we thought it was just a great deal. It probably was Alex.
Brother.
Yeah.
Oh, his brother? That's what Alex just said.
Jamie Anthony met my brother. And he told him that. And Stalter goes, "You son of a, you know what?"
Oh yeah, no, I do remember your brother. I met your brother and his girlfriend. Fantastic couple. But there was also somebody that said we should rope in Jamie, and maybe that was your brother too. But either way, brilliant.
Probably was.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. All right, Anthony.
What do we got?
Pack a lunch, buddy.
Okay.
You've got
Male.
ice hockey.
Okay. Yep.
True story.
Makes sense.
The wheel spun hockey.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Question 1. 2 players in the NHL last season hit the 100 assist mark. Name these 2 players.
Probably 2 guys that pretty good players. Can I have the options, please?
Yes. Was it Nikita Kucherov and Nathan MacKinnon, Connor McDavid and Nathan MacKinnon, or Connor McDavid and Nikita Kucherov?
Wow. McDavid and Kucherov. McDavid, McKinnon, you said? And who's the other one?
Kucherov, McKinnon. So it's 3 different variations of the same players.
Okay. Let's go with, was the last one McDavid and Kucherov?
It was.
I don't think it was McDavid and McKinnon. I'll go the last one. I'll go McDavid and Kucherov. Final answer.
Question number 2. At one point last season, the Blues led the NHL in shorthanded goals. Which team finished the season with the most shorthanded goals with 16?
I don't know. Options, please.
Options are the St. Louis Blues, the Philadelphia Flyers, or the New York Rangers.
Seems like a Flyers thing. I'll go Flyers. Final answer.
Question 3. The Blues opened the season with 3 games on the road, starting in Seattle, then on to your Sharks in San Jose, and then Las Vegas. Then they come home to open up their home schedule against which team?
Their home schedule. Options.
The Minnesota Wild, the San Jose Sharks, or the Vegas Golden Knights?
I mean, I think it would be a Central Division team. Let's go with the Minnesota Wild. Final answer.
And question number 4. The most wins in a Blues regular season in franchise history is 52. Which coach led that Blues team to 52 wins?
So the other day, I could have beaten our guy Jared had I just said the Boston Marathon, which is the thing that came to my mind first.
Mm-hmm.
The name that came to my mind first was Ken Hitchcock. So I'm just going to roll with it this time and hope that Ken Hitchcock is on there. I'm assuming he is. He coached a long time here. Give me Ken Hitchcock. Final answer. And if he's not, I'm dumb. You're smart. Not good looking.
All right.
You're very attractive.
Let's start with question 2. At one point last season, the Blues led the NHL in shorthanded goals. Which team finished the season with the most shorthanded goals with 16? Alex, you said the Philadelphia Flyers. Anthony, you also said the Philadelphia Flyers. Answer is?
It is the Philadelphia Flyers.
Wow.
But both of you needed the option.
I was about to say, come on. Nice job, Alex.
1-1.
Nice job, Salt.
We'll go to question 3 next. The Blues open the season with 3 games on the road in Seattle, Anthony's San Jose Sharks, and in Las Vegas. Then they open up their home schedule against which team? Alex, you said the Minnesota Wild. Anthony, you also said the Minnesota Wild. Answer, please.
It is the Minnesota Wild.
But you both needed the options. 2-2 after 2 questions. Let's go to question number 1.
Got a barn burner here.
2 players in the NHL last season hit 100 assists. Name these 2 players. Alex, you said Connor McDavid and Nikita Kucherov. Anthony, you said option 3, Connor McDavid and Nikita Kucherov. Marshy, answer please.
It is Connor McDavid and Nikita Kucherov.
Wow.
But
No way.
Alex did not need the options.
You're kidding me.
Did not.
Alex.
Alex up 4-3 going into the final question.
You're serious.
I'm dead serious.
That is impressive, Alex. Well done.
Last question.
Oh, no.
As we're racing to the finish line. The most wins in a Blues regular season. Hang on. The most wins in a Blues regular season in franchise history is 52. Which coach led that Blues team to 52 wins? Without the options, Alex said Joel Quenneville, who had a long, illustrious, successful career with the Blues.
Yeah.
President's Trophy winning
head coach.
I don't like how you're doing this.
Anthony, you said I should have went with the Boston Marathon. I'm going with Ken Hitchcock.
First name that came to my mind.
Yep.
Out of all the coaches here.
So here's how it's going to work. One of you is right. If Alex is correct with Joel Quenneville, he will win 6-3 today. If Anthony is correct, he will pull it out and win 5-4.
I'll just win. I won't pull it out.
Good call. Alex.
You have chosen poorly.
It was Ken Hitchcock in 2013, 2014. Anthony got you, Alex.
That was epic, man. Great fight, dude.
Great fight, Stalter. That was awesome having Killian and Madeline on.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Alex. That means a great deal to me. And in fact, they're on their way home now. Shout out to my sister-in-law Karen.
There we go.
She came to pick them up. So Karen and Maddie and Killian are listening right now. So thank you. Appreciate you.
Early happy birthday to you, Alex.
Yeah. Tell your brother we said. Hey, tell your brother we said hello too.
Will do.
All right, buddy.
Alex.
Have a good weekend.
See you, buddy.
See you, Alex.
Thank you. You too, guys.
See ya.
Anthony, you crayon-eating son of a gun, you. Look at you go.
That was a big roll of the dice, boys.
I thought that when Alex put up a score of 4 points,
I was toast.
I was like, there's no way. Like, some of these questions are like, I don't know how good I would have done today.
Did I get all of them?
You answered every question correctly.
The Flyers one was a complete shot in the dark. The Minnesota one made sense because it's essential.
Well,
I knew it wasn't McKinnon.
Question.
Yeah, you're already playing two of those teams on the road.
Well, that threw me off though because I'm like that.
Could
like,
be
is it a home and home and all that?
Yeah.
But the Hitch one, that was the first name that popped into my head.
I would have said Joel Quenneville.
Really?
And I played for Quenneville.
Wow.
And I should have known how many wins we had that year.
I mean, I'm preaching to the choir, but Hitch had some great seasons.
He did.
Here.
He did.
But Alex, too, Alex's brother, at one point he was training to become a firefighter. So hopefully that's going well for him. I think he was studying to do so. And my grandfather was a firefighter, so
awesome.
I wish Alex's brother the best of luck, too.
Yeah, and stay safe, man.
11-3
in hockey.
Anthony is 11-3 in hockey.
That's incredible.
And you bitch about it all the time, too.
I do not.
Every time.
Random.
Andrew, he always.
I love hockey.
You're like, just give me hockey again. And
did you not see what I just did?
I know. That's why I'm giving it to you.
Hard.
Yeah, as hard as I can.
Which is hard. Are we sure that this pitching staff for the Cardinals is actually good? We've got some numbers to suggest.
Oh, no.
No. That's next on 101 ESPN.
I want to see from Ali Marmol is for him to hold the veterans on this team accountable. We've seen the Cardinals hold the rookies accountable because if they make a mistake, they're going down to Memphis. But these veterans, we like to see more leadership from them and for the manager to hold them accountable into aiding the team's success. That's what I would like to see from Ali Marmol.
All right, that was Darius who left us a mic drop earlier about our mic drop question, which was Ali Marmol. What do you want to see out of him, assuming that he's going to be the Cardinals manager next year? What do you want to see out of him? Like specifics. So Darius talks about holding these veterans accountable. In some regards, I think he has, because when you drop Goldschmidt in the lineup and you drop Arenado in the lineup, I think that in part is holding the guys accountable. It's not like you're going to bench those players. It's not like you're going to healthy scratch them like in hockey. But, dropping them down, I think in some regards is holding them accountable. I think what Darius is talking about, though, is just, flat out maybe calling them out sometimes. And in that regard, I don't know what Ali says behind the door. You know what I mean? When the door's closed, I don't know what's said.
And it's tough. Like, you got a veteran guy like Goldie, who clearly he's on the back 9 of his career. He might be in the back 2 or 3 holes of his career at this point. What do you call him out in the media? You're going to make this guy look like a fool?
Yeah.
Like, what do you gain?
Right.
In fact, what happens, what some people don't understand is when you do things like that, instead of holding your team accountable, you get them to not respond. They think you're a jerk. And, you think I'm a jerk? No, like in a bad way. Like they have no respect for you. They don't care about, you lose the team sometimes when you go too scorched earth on the wrong guys.
Mm-hmm.
Is it wrong for Ollie to talk to Arenado and Goldie in his office and say, hey, listen, guys, it's just not good enough right now. I am going to say something in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. So however you want to wear it after that, it's up to you. But we're calling it to the carpet because these young guys, these mid-tier guys, they need to know what the standard is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go out there, and the first chance you have a meeting where something goes kind of squirrely, boom, you lay into the veteran guys.
Yep.
The veteran guys, if they're good veterans, they accept their punishment, and they go out, and they're first guys on the field, first guys in the cage. You're like, okay, wow. Ollie gave it to him. I never thought he'd yell at Arenado.
Yeah.
But look, he's out there on the field. He's first guy in the batting cage. I better make sure I'm second.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now the young guys, that lights a fire.
Yep.
So just to call out guys randomly and just to be angry at the world, that works for like a hot minute. But you go through losing skids like the Cardinals have been on here recently. What are you going to do? Every day just be mad at them? Make life miserable? You want to make it so guys don't want to go to the ballpark?
Yeah.
Like, that's how teams fall apart completely.
Right.
And you mentioned the pitching staff. That's what you teased. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can necessarily do that just because of how many older guys you have in that rotation. And who else do you have? Yeah, you could bring up Michael McGreevy.
Yeah.
Or, Gordon Graceffo, which I would like to see a lot more of Michael McGreevy, but that's just one guy.
And that's not Ollie's call either. He could pitch that to Mo and say, hey, I'd like to do this, that, and the other thing. But
Mo said, thanks a lot. Go back to your office.
Right. Mo's also got, he's got to get these minor league reports. The innings got to match up, all that. Like, there's a lot going on as opposed to just saying, well, this guy's not pitching well. Let's just put him in the bullpen or DFA him and bring up a young guy. It sounds great to the fan base. And we could say it here in the media, and some fans would be like, yeah, they'll golf clap us. Like, finally, somebody's holding. But we don't know what, again, the innings limitations are, what the guy's working on or not working on in the minors, what the development program is. There's a lot to consider when it comes to bringing up some of these young players. And again, the biggest point is that's Mo's decision, not Ollie's. Now, I teased about the starting rotation. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I went back over the last 30 games and pointed out that the ERA might be a little misleading. Here's some advanced numbers. That was 2 weeks ago. I will not be doing that now. I will not be doing that now.
Why is that?
Well, it's not good, Jamie.
Oh, really? Surprising.
Here are the starters' ERAs in August for the Cardinals. And I flat out I always read Bernie Michaelis from Burn Baby Burn.
Bernie always
Scoops
says
with Danny Mac.
He always has real good deep dives into some of the numbers.
Bernie is the best in the business.
He's got his own YouTube show now, I think.
Does he? Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'll check that out. So ERAs for the Cardinals in August. It's just the starters. Sonny Gray, 4.74. You may think that's bad. Hold my beer. Andre Palante, 5.23 ERA. Eric Fetty, 5.63.
They're going the wrong way, Anthony.
Kyle Gibson, 6.13. So, boy, that's terrible. That's the worst. It is not. Miles Michaelis, 10.13.
That means you have to score 11 runs to win.
That's assuming the bullpen shuts the door after old Mikey gets out of the game there. This is atrocious. Here's the thing, too. We heard this in the offseason where we're like, really? That's what you... Sonny Gray we like? Is that what did we hear?
I was fine with Kyle Gibson, too.
What did we hear? From some fans. We heard, well, guys, what do you want? They improved. Did they not improve? Yeah, they did for most of the season. But we still said it's not good enough, right? Well, guess what? It is not good enough. It's August. You're in the. I'll use quotation marks for our YouTube channel, our Snake Pit. You're in the hunt.
Yes, thank you for doing that. Because I thought you were going to say in the hunt. I was like, really?
You're in the hunt, and you've got this as your pitching staff. It's not good enough.
Well, the real kicker, Anthony, and the last series showed us this. You have that for your pitching staff, and you have nothing from your offense. That's problematic.
Typically not good.
You know, like in soccer, you can win or lose 1-0. Mm-hmm. You're like, okay, it's fine. You can draw at 0-0. Not going to work in baseball.
No.
You're not scoring any runs right now, and you're giving up a ton. I don't think that's a good strategy.
Right. You're not Seattle. Seattle is still having issues with its offense. The pitching staff is in place. The pitching staff can give you a competitive edge on any given night. But you can complain about the offense in that regard. Like, man, they're wasting the pitching staff. That's not the case here. You're just bad across the board right now. There's nothing to hang your hat on.
No, there's nothing. You do realize, though, there was a big swing for Miles Michaelis. The day he told us on these airwaves that he did not like the nickname Moose, everything changed.
Hasn't been right since.
He honestly hasn't. Go look at his numbers.
Terrible.
Following that, he's been erratic.
Yeah, a little nicer to the fast lane, guys.
Maybe just roll with it. Maybe say, "Oh yeah, Moose."
Moose,
That's good.
Interesting. Yeah.
Don't clap back.
No, he had to be honest.
Yeah, he had to clap back. Like,
He's.
Well, I'm from Florida.
You know he is.
Oh, okay.
He's the guy, Jamie. He's the guy that on Christmas Day you get a nice gift for somebody, right? Here you go. Here you go. And he's like, I already have this.
Yeah.
Opens it up. I already have this.
I got this before I had to return it. It was no good.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I just wasted my time and money on it.
Good. I thought about you. Thought you might like it.
Yep.
Wrapped it up real nice for you.
Look what's happening now.
Exactly. All right. Glad we got to the bottom of that. Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Send us your sports six-pack related questions. We'll do the sports six-pack next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals take on the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight with Miles Michaelis on the mound. We just got done talking about the Cardinals rotation. If you missed that conversation or anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. You can just head to the podcast page and find all of our shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. First pitch tonight between the Cards and the Dodgers is at 7:15. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so if you have a question you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions. Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
With Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Carey Davis has a day off. He'll be back on Monday. But we got our guy Andrew Marsh in, and he has your questions for the Sports Six-Pack via the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Marsh, go.
Question number one.
All right, this one comes from the 314, and this is very interesting. And it's a specific question for Jamie.
All right.
Why do you think there hasn't been an NHL team to build an arena with a retractable roof? I feel like that would be one of the coolest experiences and coolest stadiums in all sports. It makes sense considering hockey is played during the winter, but the cold weather actually play, and they haven't tried this, question mark. I don't know if that last part makes sense, but retractable roof for an NHL team.
So what's funny is I actually had a talk with someone several months ago about this exact thing.
Really?
Yeah, we were talking about the Blues playing the outdoor game, the Winter Classic again, coming up, all that stuff. And I was like, why don't teams, especially in cold weather places, like you wouldn't want to build it in LA or like it would be it would cost too much to keep the ice cold. But for all the Canadian teams, Minnesota, Northeast, like even here in St. Louis, it gets cold enough in the wintertime to where if you had a retractable roof, you could open that puppy up.
Yeah.
I just don't know. So the business brain in me, like the concept of it,
yeah,
I'm a fan. I love it. But
it is a cool concept.
The business brain for me goes, what's your return on investment? Are you selling more tickets because you have a retractable roof? Probably not. Because the Blues sell almost close to capacity as it is right now.
Yeah.
The Wild sell out all the time. Like all these teams I'm talking about, they're selling out anyways. And the hundreds of millions of dollars on top of a regular rink that it would cost to have this retractable roof, it's probably not a great investment. That's my only thing. Now, if you had, I guess the other side of it is my business brain continues to creep down the road here, is now you could probably book some really huge shows in the summertime.
That's true.
To where now, if it's raining, it's closed. But if it's beautiful out, you've retractable roof. Now you've got like this outdoor football stadium, but it's not. It's it's an arena venue.
I don't hate it.
It'd be pretty sick, right? But then you'd have to make sure you're making the money. For me, it's follow the money on something like this.
Yeah, because they obviously the Enterprise Center they've got plenty of shows. I think I saw Sandler there. We took the kids to like some Jurassic World thing.
I think all sorts of different shows.
But you're right though. It would be kind of a unique venue.
It'd be awesome
if it had a retractable roof.
The other part of it I thought of is the NHL. I thought the NHL could just build 2 or 3 of them around the country. Just neutral site
and travel.
And you have, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 1 in Canada, and you just do these, we'll call them highlight games. Whatever you do, it's the big game of the week. Both teams fly into, let's say it's Northern California. It's beautiful, the mountains, all that stuff. You got a beautiful retractable roof arena because the San Jose Sharks are going to play against the Seattle Kraken. It's all close in proximity. You get a lot of people in that area. retractable roof. If the weather sucks, hey, the roof stays on. Sorry, guys. Sorry, folks. Park's closed. Moose outside. Should have told you.
Well, I think that would be the draw, right, is the retractable roof. But how do you let the people who are going there to see said retractable roof and it's not open?
Yeah.
Like, then there's sort of a letdown and then it just becomes a normal arena.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little bit different in baseball. If you go up to Toronto or you go to Houston, retractable roofs there, or you go to Milwaukee, I don't know if that's the draw. Like, oh, hey, the roof's open, unless you're a Toronto Blue Jays pitcher, then apparently that
makes a huge difference.
Makes a huge difference, apparently. I don't know if you saw that clip, but.
No. What happened?
I believe it was Chris Bassett. He's on the Blue Jays.
Yes.
I believe it was him, and he was saying, well, my pitches were a little bit different. I wasn't expecting the roof to be open.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, dude,
when you
sound like a loser.
When you suck, just own it. Just own it. Goes back to yesterday. We were talking about pet peeves and things like that. Like, be self-aware. It was different. Roof is open.
The vertical break on my whatever, it was a little bit different because the roof was open.
I don't know if people are expecting me to pitch like that. Throw the damn ball.
Dude, you play outside all the time.
Right. Come on.
I don't know. Maybe there's like a wind current that comes through. I don't know, but either way, I thought it was
ridiculous.
Stupid. But a retractable roof for a hockey game.
That would be cool.
It would be cool. Will we ever see it? Highly doubt it.
Highly doubt it. It is the concept of it is awesome. It'll just take one of these absolute multi-billionaires to sit there and go, like the guy Ryan Smith in Utah. This guy is the type of guy that would build a rink like that. He is. And Utah would be phenomenal. Mm-hmm. All the mountains, all like the cold weather, the mountains. It would be phenomenal to have a rink like that.
So
phenomenal.
I wonder if you could almost get away with maybe not the retractable roof, but you have like the glass wall. Mm-hmm. Like I'm thinking of like US Bank Stadium where the Vikings play. Yeah. And I'm sure there's a few other NFL stadiums that have like the glass exterior where you can see outside of the stadium.
Yeah.
Maybe if the glass or like the roof was see-through essentially, then you could see, or even like the upper decks, cool. You could see the mountains and stuff without the stadium itself being open. Outside.
Yeah.
Or like Dallas, the Cowboys have got that massive hole in the roof.
Yeah.
So God can watch his favorite team. That's why they did it.
Yeah.
They did. That's why they did it.
Okay.
Massive hole in the roof so God can look down. Watch his favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys.
Sounds about right.
So we went from America's favorite team
Saints
to God's.
I figured the Saints were probably his team, but
you would think.
You never know.
Well, maybe they are, and the Cowboys didn't get the message. It's why they continue to come up short.
By the way, I've been hearing a lot that Jerry Jones is cheap. Which is hilarious to think about.
What did I say yesterday? You don't become a multi-millionaire to billionaire. I think he's a billionaire.
He is.
You don't become a billionaire by spending your money frivolously.
It's fair.
Frivolously.
It's fair.
Hey. Question 2, please.
Question number 2.
From the 239, where does the accountability in the Cardinals organization come from? What does it look like? And when can we expect it?
Oh, man.
I don't know if I have an answer for any of those. Where does it come from? I would think Ollie. I would hope Ollie.
Well, you would hope ownership. You would hope front office. You would hope Ollie. Right? Like those are your keys.
Yeah, but so then
ownership, front office, Ollie.
So then describe accountability.
So ownership is holding the front office accountable. The front office is holding Ollie accountable.
So what's
Ollie
the parameters of holding the front office accountable, though? Is it wins and losses or how much money they make?
For the Cardinals, how much money they make.
Okay.
So
that's what I'm saying. We need
doing a great job.
We need to make sure we're very clear on what it looks like.
I'm being somewhat facetious. Do you think that it's actually the case, though?
That what, money?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Bottom line, and hey, if we win, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad. Makes me sad in my bones.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand it. But my bones are sad. Because I want ownership to have that, like
the Cardinals.
I want to win.
The Cardinals' ownership never leaves themselves spread thin. Like,
no.
What I mean by that is They don't overpay. They don't get into the big player sweepstakes.
That's a great way to put it.
They don't spread themselves thin to where this might blow up.
Yeah.
It's always short enough to where if it blows up, we'll be fine.
Right.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Come on in, Rafe.
Rafe Williams.
Looks like he has some goodies for us.
Rafe is walking by right now. Rafe, stop on by, man. What do you got for us?
What's up, boys? I got you some. How about some Red Show Le Bon Boucher?
Whoa. Are you kidding me right now?
Macarons or macaroons? I don't know what they're called.
Whatever.
I know they're great, and I know I've eaten about 35 of them, and I have to give them to someone else.
You guys had the big birthday celebration on the Rizzuto show today.
Was the big guy happy?
He was good. Yeah, we had a lot of surprise. He doesn't love surprises.
No.
So we had about 15 or 20 of them lined up, interrupted. We had calls going directly to the board. That hasn't happened since 93, I'm pretty sure. He's like, what's happening? My board's ringing. Like,
yeah. For those that don't know, Riz is very particular about the way the board is run, the way it's set up,
about everything.
The entire show. Every word that is said about the show. He is the most organized freak.
Yeah, he's a hardcore prepper, so it was fun today to blow that all up for him.
Nice.
Had his mom call in directly to the board.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, that's
he almost hung up on his own mother, which was very funny.
That would have been oof.
Yeah. But all is good. How's everything going in here?
It's going quite well. Now we got to ask
away.
You,
all right.
Were you sore after the Derby? After you put
Lord, dude.
You put on a show.
You better believe it.
You put on an absolute show.
Shout out to Scott Cooper at All-Star Performance for let me get me some cuts. He's like, you can't just go to the cage after 20 years and then go hit the next day. He's like, there's a lot of muscles that hadn't been used in a while. Some obliques that were like, whoa, what's going on here? But I was still a little bit sore for a couple days. What about you guys?
Yeah, I wasn't
okay this year.
I wasn't as sore this year as I was last year.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I didn't do anything different. I mean, we swung the bat a few times at the cages. You were there.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's not like I didn't hit 100 balls or anything like that.
You must just be in better shape, man.
Maybe, but last year I was sore as hell, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, do you think you hit as many home runs as you did if Brian Jordan is not on the field?
I feel like you wanted to
in your
stuff it in his
presence?
face.
No, I definitely didn't. After we made our peace. After he didn't sign my autograph 33 years later.
Rafe, tell that story to our listeners because they have no idea what we're talking about.
Brian Jordan, when he 92, comes to the Cardinals. I'm a huge... My parents come up from Southern Illinois, friends' parents, because I'm broke. I don't have any money, but my friends' parents had a little money. They took us to a hotel. They're like, you can walk to Busch Stadium. First time they let us go do something by ourselves. Downtown St. Louis, 1992, 12 years old. Terrible idea. Terrible parenting. Don't do that. But we went. We stayed and tried to get players' autographs. You know, Ozzie came out, signed everything. I don't know why he was there, but he was there. And Brian Jordan, we saw his SUV pull out, and he didn't sign autographs. I think he was 0 for 4, had a bad night or something. This is Brian Jordan, dude. This is a two-sport. This is our Deion Sanders. This is the only guy besides Deion, I think, that was like a two-sport athlete. So he was a big deal. And we're walking back to the hotel. I see, hey, that's Brian Jordan's SUV over there in that parking lot. We go over, and the window's cracked. I can see him talking on a bag phone. That's how old it was. He was talking on old Zach Morris.
Oh, yeah.
Bag cell phone, and we're like, Mr. Jordan, we're huge fans. Think we can get an autograph? And he rolled the window down, and he looked at me, and he goes, catch me some other time, kid. And he rolled the window up in my face. And I told the story on the air. Somehow it got back to him.
Oh, yeah.
And he couldn't have been a nicer guy.
Well,
he was fantastic.
Rafe walked into the clubhouse there over in O'Fallon. And the moment, I mean, you were 2 steps inside the room, and Brian Jordan goes, "Is that Rafe Williams?" He's like, "Rafe, I'm sorry.
I've been looking for you."
I've been looking for you. You have. I've been looking for you too, man. Because I at 12 years old, I was like, when will we cross paths again, Brian Jordan? Exactly. You gonna be in my homeroom 7th grade class at some point?
You're doing the math.
Little did he know that. Patience.
Yeah.
Patience is my secret weapon.
You got him.
And I called him out on the air, and to his credit, man, I said, there's beef that's got to get settled. So it was nice. And then after I basically decided he could be my new father, he hugged me, told me he was sorry, made a video for my friend, sent it to my friend who was with me. Couldn't have been a cooler dude.
I love, too, how after you hit, and for those that don't know, that weren't there that night, Rafe, you had, 3 in the first 3 home runs in the first minute.
It wasn't looking good in like the first minute.
It was rough.
I couldn't get. I wasn't getting much of a. Had to step out and have my Joe Boo moment. Of like
Joe Boo's jockstrap.
Yeah, Joe Boo's jockstrap.
Joe Boo's jockstrap.
Yeah, in the snake pit.
Yeah. I don't see it right now, but he pops in.
So you hit 3 or so or something?
It was like 3 or 4, and I had to hit after Marsh, which they switched us, and I'm like, okay, this kid's in great shape, and he goes out there, and Marsh just starts hitting dingers.
I thought that was going to be the number,
anybody,
by the way.
I did too.
I looked at Carey.
Because they moved us back.
I say, that's it. Marsh's
were
got
a little further this year. So
I'm like, nobody's going to hit, what'd you hit, 13?
13.
Yeah. I'm like, nobody's going to hit 13.
Thank God we were feeding him Fireball. He got a little tuckered out.
Yep.
I actually think it might have helped me. I'm not going to lie.
I do that on the golf. I think he got a little gassed at the end, and I was grateful for it because I was like, man, I just don't want to embarrass myself. And I had like 3 or 4, and I was like, oh man, Brian Jordan's watching. We just decided he just adopted me. We haven't signed the papers yet. I got to make
you
this.
You can still walk out. Catch me next time, kid.
Yeah, he goes to the adoption center. He's like, hey, catch me next time, kid. Betty! And man, I just caught fire, dude. I think I hit like 10.
Yeah, it was like 10, 11 in a row. It was like bing,
quite a few in a row, and I was feeling it.
All the weirdos were yelling in the crowd.
Yep.
And then
you hit 14.
I hit 14 with like 1 second left. Old age and treachery overcomes youth and skill. And Brian Jordan came out and gave me a hug at home plate, and I go, this was maybe the greatest day of my life.
He's like, thanks,
I don't care about losing. I did. I go, that's what the Riz show was like. We all came out. They showed me the tape. Like, you pushed all of us out of the way. You sold us out so fast.
Oh, yeah.
We had your back for Brian Jordan all the way. And as soon as he was cool to you, you're like, get out of here, losers. Yeah. Brian Jordan's trying to hug me. And I did. I sold the whole crew out, man.
The next morning,
my girlfriend, too. I pushed her out of the way.
Yeah, Tina, right?
Yeah, she was screaming.
Yeah, she's my baby. #1 supporter for 8 years. Gone. Could care less.
See ya. Tina was so excited. She was beyond excited you. I was, because, we're watching this thing, and I'm like, we're good. We're good. And then when you hit 14, I go, we are not good.
Like, we got work to do.
Rallied together. We're like, dudes, listen, we got to go here. But Tina
Lauren gave us a chance when she went off. She was great. Her rage became unbridled.
She was great, man.
Yep. She said she took PEDs like right before the Derby.
She did. I went to Victory Men's Health. I said, give me some of that testosterone.
Right.
I was just rubbing it on her back. I go, don't worry about this. This is Ben Gay. Yeah. She's like,
we looked at her like, this isn't
a mustache.
This isn't how it works. But she still muscled out.
Yeah, she was great, and it was a super fun time. And Tina was excited when I watched the tape back. She was so excited that she tried to thank God we didn't use her video because it looked like Blair Witch. And she blocked she kind of looked like a Sasquatch sighting, honestly. She was moving so fast and so excited that she was just blurry going across the screen. I'm like, you blocked Brian Jordan giving me a hug in the video. The moment I've been waiting for, and there's just like a blurry Yeti blocking it, but somebody else had a video. Thank you. So I have it.
Yeah, Rafe, you're a good dude, man.
Yeah,
we appreciate you.
All right, I'm leaving these desserts here.
Yeah, please do.
They're doing damage to me, man.
We'll finish it up.
Have a good weekend.
All right, fellas.
See you, buddy.
Weekend.
Thank you. See ya. That's Rafe from 105.7 The Point, our sister station, of course, the Rizzuto Show, and Rafe does outstanding work as well. He's got a podcast, the number 2 show, he calls it, and he literally records it
in a bathroom stall.
From a bathroom stall.
It's pretty awesome.
Rafe, a comedian too. If you've seen his work, he's
I've
funny
seen him live.
Dude. He's hardworking guy.
I've seen him live, and he is very funny.
Just real quick, because we're way off clock, but normally we don't see, like, if you work in afternoons like we do, you don't see the morning shows ever. We see him all the time.
He's always got something cooking.
He's the man. All right, we'll continue our sports six-pack. I mean, we're kind of, we're going to skip the sports
Marcy
six-pack.
says no.
We did one.
We got 2 questions done.
Marcy says forget it.
They were tall boys. Is Mo's offseason plan blowing up right in his face? Tell you why it is. Next on 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Is Mo's offseason plan blowing up in his face? I would say yes. 501, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. So before I detail what I was thinking, we got a mic drop from Sweet Voice James, our guy James, who we love, loyal listener, who's actually not even in St. Louis, and he listens from St. Louis. He's a diehard Cardinals fan and diehard Fastlane fan, and we appreciate James. He left a mic drop, and, man, he's always insightful. So Marsh tells us that his thoughts actually really go well with this segment. So here's Sweet Voice James first.
Hey, guys, what I'd like to see Ollie do, if he's going to continue to be the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, is play the young guys. You know, you can't expect Jordan Walker to come up from AAA and be as consistently good as he was in Memphis if he's not getting the at-bats. I mean, if you're only going to have him hit against left-handed pitchers, well, the problem is you're going to see a lefty, maybe once every 5 to 10 days? I mean, that's not helping his growth at all. You know, yes, Nolan Gorman has struggled, but, you know, maybe give these guys a chance to work themselves out of it. I know he's given Gorman a chance and he's failed, but give the young guys a chance, you know, or at least maybe go to the front office and be like, hey, guys, this pitcher or that pitcher has given me a good start. Can we keep him up here, let him start again? And we saw that earlier this year with Michael McGreevy. I mean, one start, he was brilliant, and they sent him back down. You know, everybody talks about, well, these guys aren't ready, but how do you know if they're ready if you don't give them a chance in the majors to actually perform and be consistently good? That's so frustrating, and it's maddening. So that's my thing, is give the young kids a chance. Anyway, boys, have a great weekend.
You do too, James. And boy, he nailed it. He absolutely is right and for several reasons. And I think that this is what he just said too. It really, other people feel the same way. Cardinals fans feel the same way. Like you love this team, you want to make sure that you support them and you want to see a winner. But if you're not going to see a winner, you don't want to sit there and watch a team that doesn't have any hope for winning and does not play its young guys. I think fans are patient to some degree. I think fans are willing to watch some of these younger players go out there and perform and know that you might not have the ultimate success right now, but at least these young guys are getting the reps. Jordan Walker is a prime example of that. You bring him up, he's back in the lineup tonight, but only because there's a lefty on the hill for the Dodgers. But otherwise, he's not in the game. So now your fan base is watching you get the you-know-what kicked out of you in Cincinnati, and you're not playing guys like Jordan Walker. So I think that's kind of the nature of James's mic drop. And we have gotten other mic drops from people as well. Earlier today, we played several that had the same theme to it. Now, when I said is Mo's offseason plan blowing up in his face, this is what I was thinking. You signed Sonny Gray because you needed a frontline starter. And that's what Sonny Gray is. He hasn't performed like it over his last X amount of starts, but he is still a frontline starter. You signed him to a multi-year deal because of that. You gave Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn 1-year deals respectively. Then you signed Brandon Crawford, who I love B-Craw. Dude, I think
Giants B-Craw.
The Giants version of B-Craw.
Let's be honest.
He's not that anymore. He hasn't been that guy for 2 years now.
Someone say he's almost twice the player.
Stop it, Jamie. But you signed him to a 1-year deal, and then you brought back Matt Carpenter. I'm just going to keep the feet rolling. Matt Carpenter, you signed to a 1-year deal. You brought him back, and you brought back Lance Lynn, and then eventually you traded for Tommy Pham as well, so that you had veterans in place to instill more leadership in your clubhouse. In April, things didn't look good. And credit to Ollie and that leadership group for making sure the season didn't go sideways like last year. But now you're in August, and things are fracturing, and things are falling apart. And your plan was, hey, we'll get these veteran guys in for the tough times. It's tough now. And your team is starting to play as bad as it did in April. So this plan is falling apart.
This plan stunk from the beginning. Let's just be honest.
You're right.
And the reason it stunk from the beginning is I'll even give hang on. I'll take that back for a second.
Bag it up.
When they signed Matt Carpenter, and I found out the reasons why and the support that Matt Carpenter had from the current players, and I was like, you know what? I don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
He's still got a little pop from the left-handed side. He's been a great Cardinal, well-liked. You know what? Bring him home for his last hurrah. Bring him home. We're good.
Send him home happy.
When they signed Brandon Crawford, I understand what the thought process was. We want a backup shortstop. But you had two other backup shortstops on your roster at the time. You had Tommy Edman and Brendan Donovan.
Yeah, you didn't know Edman was going to, his career was over.
Correct, but you still had Brendan Donovan.
Yeah.
Push comes to shove, Donnie Boy can play shortstop.
Mm-hmm.
Not an issue. But you went and signed Brandon Crawford. I don't know what the idea was, because he's barely played all season. Barely. So now those two guys are occupying roster spots during a time where you need some help off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Luke and Baker should be on that bench instead of Brendan Crawford. You don't need another left-handed bat. You've got too many lefty bats.
Right.
And I'd rather see Luke and Baker, maybe he's the DH, maybe Gorman's on the bench now, but he's your left bat. He replaces Brendan Crawford's left bat.
Sure.
Like, now at least you have, options.
Mm-hmm.
Carpenter's hurt, not an option. Crawdaddy, not really an option. So you got two roster spots that just whatever.
Yep.
I don't get it. So that's the part I don't get.
So can we take another step back?
Sure.
Here? So in August, you're older, you're tired, your veteran leadership clearly is not rescuing you, you're not talented enough, and there's no production.
And you don't need a cheerleader right now.
It's like cherry, you're good. You hit it.
But you don't need a cheerleader right now. What I mean by that is you don't need Brandon Crawford and Matt Carpenter, their leadership in the clubhouse. Right now, nobody wants to listen to it. Like, they don't, because things are going bad. You're in a pressure cooker. You've got two veteran guys in Goldie and Arenado that are not what they used to be.
Yeah.
This is like tough times.
Right.
You're better off to have young energy in that clubhouse right now that are too dumb to realize what's at stake.
Right.
And I mean that in the most polite way possible. Because when I was a young guy going up to the rink every day in the playoffs, this is great. There's no pressure. I can't believe this is so much fun. I'm so excited. I'm in the NHL. You need those. You need those guys. Like the dog from Garfield, Odie.
Yeah.
Just run. Just so happy all the time, right?
Always. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Jordan Walker, how you doing? I'm great. I love this. I'm in the majors. This is awesome. Great. Awesome. Mason Wynn. McGreevy, Graceffo, get some. That's the energy you need right now.
Yes.
You don't need Brandon Crawford coming over and trying to put his arm around you. Hey, okay, coach. Beat it.
Yep.
Why don't you help us? Oh, that's right, you can't.
And by the way, this is not, and really hear me when I say this, because I think some fans would be like, oh, who cares? This is how I felt before. But I've been around enough coaches and managers to tell you this. And Jamie, you know this as well, especially in baseball. I don't know how it is in hockey, but especially in baseball. The managers typically lean on the veterans. Mm-hmm. It is the back of the baseball card cliche. I know what I'm getting out of that guy. You're in the lineup again. Let's roll. That has been that is every Major League Baseball manager. Young guy comes up, youth and energy and all that. I don't know what you are yet. I'll go with the guy I know. What you need right now is what you just said.
Especially right now. You just lost
an
3.
Injection of youth.
But you just lost 3 to the Reds.
You had your chance, vets. Get Jordan Walker in the lineup. Get Nolan Gorman in the lineup.
I'm telling you, I would call up Luke and Baker, too. Hey, big boy, you want to try and be a major leaguer? I know he has to be disgruntled down in AAA when all he's doing is hitting home runs.
Right.
And what do the Cardinals need? Home runs.
That'd be power.
They need power from the right side, mind you.
Yes.
So I would call him up and say, listen, I'm going to try and find you at bats every single day. We're going to get you as many plate appearances as possible, but the rest, big boy, is up to you.
Exactly. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, and Anthony Stalter. The Blues a playoff team if they end the year with this exact lineup.
What lineup is that?
The one that we can project. Next on 101 ESPN. Hey, this weekend's supposed to be nice. If you head out to Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, you could check out their summer heat wave sale. Lowest prices of 2023 at Auto Centers Nissan. Just a quick drive up 270 I-55, and you can get yourself a new vehicle. They've got cars, trucks, SUVs, vans. They've got new Nissans. They've got, pre-owned vehicles with great prices. They're fantastic. That's where we got our Pathfinder, which was from Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. And with over 700 vehicles all in one location, you're bound to find the perfect car that fits your lifestyle, fits your budget. If you have bad credit or you got some credit challenges, no problem. They have options for you. They've got financing for everyone that walks through the door. And they give you a 30-day new car return promise. Within 30 days, if you want to bring the vehicle back under any circumstances, you can, and they'll refund your money, set you up with something else. They have the complimentary lifetime warranty on new Nissans and eligible used vehicles, as well as the complimentary one-year maintenance on new Nissan purchases. So head down to Herculaneum, have them earn your business. You're going to love the experience, and you're certainly going to love the vehicles. That selection, outstanding, financing, everything at Auto Centers Nissan. Tell them Stalter sent you. Gauntlet on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Talking a little Blues hockey right now. The Blues a playoff team if they end the year with this lineup. Now, this lineup is projected by somebody on Twitter, SCL Analytics. His name is Sam. Holloway, Thomas, Neighbors, Buchnevich, Dvorsky, Kyrou, Saad, Shen, Snuggerud, Texier, Foxa, Toropchenko. That'd be your forward group. Broberg, Parayko, Sutter, and Falk, Leddy, Kessel. What do you think about that lineup?
It's interesting. I don't think Snuggerud will be there. He's got to finish out his college year, and he may not sign right away with the Blues. Who knows, right? And I do think that this lineup will have an Oscar Sundqvist in here somewhere as well. The rest of it's pretty legit. I don't think Broberg will replace Leddy as a top pair defenseman with Parayko, but I think that's your best six. Buchnevich, Dvorsky, Kyrou. I think that's hopeful for Dvorsky. Of course, this is projecting.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty good lineup. That's a lineup that could compete for a wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
You could. I mean, obviously, all the things have to go correctly, and you got to make sure injuries and all that stuff.
What adjustments outside of the one you said was Snuggerud unlikely just to be available? What other differences? Like, what changes would you have to that?
To what I'm looking at right now?
Correct.
I don't think Holloway's not a first-line player. Holloway would probably be down with the third line. I think you'd have Booch, Thomas, Kyrou, or Booch, Thomas, Neighbors. That's fine. If Dvorsky's that good right there, you'd probably have him playing alongside. I don't think you'd have Dvorsky with Kyrou.
Yeah.
I feel like that's two defensive liabilities on the same line.
Not great.
You could move up. You move down Dvorsky to like the third line, where he could be on a line with Oscar Sundqvist playing right wing, Brandon Saad playing left wing, and then I'd have Braden Shen up there with the second line. So just moving the pieces around, but I think for the most part, these are the right pieces. And again, the omission of Oscar Sundqvist, I think that's a bad one. I think that Sonny has proven over the course of his career that he's an everyday player, and he plays the power play last year in front of the net. He plays penalty kill. He goes out to win faceoffs, all that important stuff. And I know that Drew Bannister really likes him as well, so I can't imagine pulling him out of lineup. What's weird for me here is you're missing both the Joseph boys.
Yeah.
So we'll see, if that's something that continues like that. And, but you will have Binnington and Hofer as well in this lineup.
Marshall, what do you think? Do you think this is a playoff lineup?
I do think this is a playoff lineup. Now, I don't know how long their playoff dreams will last.
You just got to get in, Marshy.
You just got to get in. You never know what could happen. I really like the defensive group. And if Broberg is a Blue by the start of the season, I think this is a massive overhaul from what you've had the past two seasons. I think it looks completely different. And honestly, I think it looks a little different even if Broberg isn't in the top six. I feel like the Blues are slowly, incrementally getting better on their blue line. And that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with bringing new people in. I just think you're seeing certain players starting to improve their game. Like Colton Parayko, him last season was completely different than 2 seasons ago. Justin Falk, I mean, let's be honest, he was injured for half that season last year. He's going to be a completely different player.
He's going to be a much better version.
Yes. Matthew Kessel is going to have another NHL season under his belt. I think he impressed the hell out of me last season with the amount of time that he played. So I think that adding those other pieces like Suter, he's just one of those guys where you plop him in there and he's going to give you minutes. And, he's been there, he's done that. Yeah. And I think you can rely on him. And then, if you do add Broberg, sounds like you will. I think this is great. You have two huge guys. I don't know if Broberg and Parayko, like you said, Jamie, fit right now. But
that's your future.
That's your future. If you have two big guys on two different pairings, that completely changes the way your defense looks.
It completely changes your defensive zone.
Vegas, I'm not saying these guys are Vegas, but I'm just saying the idea is Vegas's.
Yeah. And Vegas doesn't have a lot of complexity to their defensive core.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've got Noah Hannafin and Alex Pietrangelo. Those guys are elite players.
Right.
After that, it's pretty steady.
Yeah.
That's where I use steady. Big oak trees. Keep the puck out of the middle of the ice. They move the puck up the ice, and they're physical.
The one thing
they take away a lot of time and space.
Yeah.
The thing that stands out to me is like you guys just said, the size. And the two players that are not a part of this six-man group is Torrey Krug and Scott Perunovich, and they profile to be somewhat of the same player based on their size and their skill set. Nick Leddy is a shorter player, but Nick Leddy also skates very well, and a lot of people
skates so well.
A lot of people don't care about plus minus.
I kind of hate him. I watch him skate, and he's so smooth, and he's not even sweating or breathing heavy.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Paul Coffey, so some of our older listeners will remember Paul Coffey. Paul Coffey looked like he was barely moving, but yet nobody could catch him.
Mm-hmm.
He does a great job, I think, of getting out of the defensive zone, which is a huge thing, especially for this Blues team, something that they have struggled with at least the past few seasons, of just getting out of the zone, making that first pass, clearing the puck out of the defensive zone.
Now you're talking my language right now.
Oh, I know. That's why I brought it up. But yeah, I think the defensive core looks completely different, and I'm actually really excited about the changes that have been made. We've been talking Cardinals baseball. We literally just had a segment about Mo's offseason plans, and they didn't really do much, right? And you're seeing that right now. This feels like a different team. Now, it doesn't feel like a Stanley Cup team, but it feels like you are moving in the right direction, and that's what people want to see.
There's an identity.
That's being built, yes.
The reason why we always talk about identity is because we as fans, we have an opportunity. We talk about consistency a lot. If they're just consistent. Why aren't teams consistent? Because they don't know who the hell they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's much different than being bad. Like when you're bad, you're just bad. You don't have talent, you don't have coaching, you don't have anything. But when you're inconsistent, to me, you're not falling back on something. And we have seen the Blues not be able to fall back on something in years past. Cardinals, you know what's hitting the fan right now. What are they falling back on?
Well, we got veteran leadership and salsa.
That's it. That's all they have. So there's nothing to fall back on. But with the Blues,
we don't have salsa anymore.
No, you don't. But with the Blues right now, like, okay, all right, I see you. You're building a big ass blue line.
Mm-hmm.
You've got excellent goaltending. So if you figure out the defense in front of him for once, no, that's not fair. For once over the last couple of years, and you've got at least some balanced scoring. All right, I can get on board with that. I know you're on nothing more than a wild card team right now, but
it's a good start.
It's a good start.
That's a pretty good. If you make the playoffs next year, that's a pretty good retool.
Yes,
that's a pretty quick retool by Army. And we get a question here from the 636. Says Jamie, what is impressive about Broberg? And I understand the question is not being negative. A lot of people don't know a lot about Philip Broberg. What's impressive to me is he's 6'4", 215, 220.
Mm-hmm.
You can't teach that. He skates very well. Moves around the ice, very mobile defenseman. Excellent stick defensively. Takes away time and space, a lot like a Colton Parayko.
Yeah.
A lot like a Jay Bouwmeester, to where skates you to bad ice, so now you either have to make a bad play or you turn the puck over. Has a good first pass out of the zone. Crisp, tape to tape, up the ice, gets the offense going right away.
Perfect.
He also played in 10 of the games in the playoffs, but all of the games in the Florida Panthers series.
Okay.
And he was a +8.
That's pretty good.
Those were the biggest games of the year.
Yep.
They don't get any bigger than those games. And he was in every single one of those games and was a plus player.
I think he scored a goal, too.
He did. He had 2 goals.
One of them might have bounced off, and it was like a ping pong game or a pinball game and went in. But, hey, throw pucks on net, right?
He had 2 goals, I believe, in the postseason. So
I was talking about the Stanley Cup. I think he scored in the Stanley Cup.
He did. He scored in the last series.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you got to look forward to. And he's 23 years old.
Yeah.
So he hasn't even figured out yet what any of the NHL is.
Right.
I can tell you that from past experience. Wait till he gets to be 25, 26. And if he's continuing to skate the way he is, he could could be a Jay Bouwmeester type player.
Sure.
That's a lot of weight.
No
Jay
doubt.
Bouwmeester is one of the most successful defensemen ever. Consistent gold medal at the Olympics, Stanley Cup, all that stuff.
You were a huge fan of Nikita Zadorov.
Yes.
Does he sort of have like a younger vibe to him, like Nikita Zadorov, like the way that he plays? Are they similar? Or they are just completely different, but they ultimately bring a little bit of size and speed and grit?
Yeah, so where Broberg will skate you into bad ice and then take the puck from you, Zadorov's going to put your head through the boards.
Okay.
I like it.
But he might miss.
I don't like it.
Right? But I'm still a huge fan of Nikita Zadorov. I'd love to see him here as well.
No kidding.
Go
Let's
get
not
him,
get
please.
greedy. Go get him. You can go get him.
But no, to the point, though, that you're making, they're different players. Broberg skates better than Zadorov does. He's not quite as big or as heavy, and he doesn't have the physicality. So he's not going to intimidate anybody that way. But as we found out from the best player in the world in Connor McDavid, that he hates playing against Colton Parayko. Colton Parayko is not the most physical guy in the NHL. He just suffocates you with his size and his speed and his ability to defend.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if he is on this roster, that's a great person to have in the locker room and, sort of take under, he can be under his wing.
Yeah.
Right here. Right under
there.
my wing.
I like that.
Right there.
Right. Yeah, that's nice.
Nice wing.
That's a great wing there. Beat the streak. Biggest question of the day next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take on the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight with Miles Mikolas on the mound. First pitch is at 7:15. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have Beat the Streak and our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
I want to hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You ready to hit?
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers. Jamie just snaked me again.
We're tied, aren't we?
Are we tied?
Did you win last night?
Yeah.
Oh, you're ahead of me.
I had the Twins. That's all right. You got it.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you got it. All right. We've got Beat the Streak. And do we have our guy on the line?
Jackson's on the line.
Jackson's on the line again. So Jackson was with us the other night, or the other day, and he got a hit, so he's back. What's up, Jackson?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Going great. You ready to roll?
For sure. Got a couple guys in mind. We'll see how it plays out.
Good man. All right, Marsh, what's the latest streaks?
All right, so Jamie has a streak of 3 right now. Anthony, you and I are tied at 2. Carey has 1, and Jackson has 1 as well.
All right, so Jamie, you're up.
But, all right. Okay, Tommy Pham, please.
Pham, off the board. Marsh?
Man, I hate to do this to Carey because I saw who he wanted for Beat the Streak.
Uh-oh.
Give me Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, that's probably a pretty good pick.
Did you forget who they're playing?
My dumb brain. I do this all the time. I never think of the opposition. My brain thinks it's the home run game.
It's the home run derby, yeah.
And so I go with the Cardinal all the time. I'm so dumb.
No, you're fine. Yeah. Don't worry. You can take them tomorrow. All right. I'll take some guy named Mookie Betts.
Yeah, he's pretty good, too.
Yeah.
Tommy Pham.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
No.
Okay. Jackson, who do you got?
There's a lot of Dodgers guys you can trust, but Freddie Freeman's on my list for sure.
That's a good call, too. It's another one.
I almost went Freddie Freeman. I mean, really, the whole line. Even Gavin Lux is on a roll.
Mikolas is pitching, right?
Yes.
Just circle a Dodger. How about that?
Tommy Pham.
Just throw it.
Hey, Marsh, I didn't need that, okay?
Just throw a dart.
Well, you could have threw one at Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah. I mean, we left some.
Gavin
We
Lux.
left a lot of people on the board there. Okay.
Right. Carey is going with Mason Wynn. He had Ohtani as
Carey
his
doesn't
first.
get it either.
His first
No,
guy
he
was
doesn't.
Ohtani. Betts was his second guy, and Mason Wynn is his third.
Oh, so he at least he had 2 Dodgers ahead of him. We just got snaked. Oh, well.
Whatever.
Okay. Jackson, hopefully we talk to you on Monday. Have a good weekend.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. See you, buddy.
Yep.
All right. What do we got for biggest question of the day?
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, guys. We were talking earlier. What's so funny?
I just
looked at him.
I'm so disgusted
We just looked at
with
each
myself.
other again. You even said Dodgers for bet the board.
I did.
And like
The Dodgers are under the minus 150
Yeah, they're
threshold.
135.
Yeah.
Oh, on
They
God's
saw
green
who's
earth.
on the bump
Did
with
that
the
happen?
Cardinals.
It's, believe it or not, it's all based on pitching matchups.
How did that happen?
I
Because
know.
Busch Stadium, you see, it's not a hitter's park. And the Dodgers have a lot of hitters.
I'll just throw this out there. You know these fools are going to win this series. They got no business winning it.
They're going to make the playoffs, Anthony. You said it 2 days ago.
I know I did. Should I break out the sunglasses again?
No. Please don't. Please
Joe
don't.
Boo's jockstrap is absolutely tickled by the fact that I took Tommy Pham.
Jamie had first pick and went Pham.
Yeah, I know, Joe Boo. Have a great weekend.
He doubles off the wall. You're good. All you need is one hit.
I know.
Watch him go 4 for 4.
Yeah. These other guys, Michael just shuts down the Dodgers.
100%.
Because they can't hit his slop. Slopped under the hitting. It's under the hitting.
It is. He threw one curveball. It's like 82 miles an hour.
Yeah, I can see it.
He got hit 112 miles.
That's correct.
All right, so we were talking earlier about managers and philosophies and, the history, if that matters, or, really does it simply come down to winning? Obviously we had some mic drops throughout the day. And Jamie, you brought up a good point about Ollie Marmol being a good guy and, having the clubhouse. It seems like everybody likes him, but clearly most of the fans don't really care for Ollie Marmol. So I was thinking about this. Do you need a blend of the two? Does a great head coach or a great manager all the way through, does it have to be a blend of being great in the clubhouse, but also being great with the fans as well? Because you can be a great manager within your own clubhouse, but if you don't have that conviction from the fans and they don't believe in you, are you really that great of a head coach?
So let me ask you this. So Belichick, for a while, for his entire coaching career, I don't know if he placated to the fans ever, because really you talk to the fans through the media to some degree, right? But because he won all the time, the fans just rallied around him.
That's the bottom line. He won.
Yeah.
He didn't have to say anything. Bill Belichick went up there and grunt 12 times. The fans thought it was awesome.
Right. And I used I think Popovich and Belichick are similar. Like, if you were going to draw a comparison to Belichick in the NBA, it'd be Pop. Long history of winning, surly with the media. And I think he's actually fair with the media. It's like, if you don't ask a good question, you're going to get a really bad answer, and I'm going to embarrass you. But is he great with the fan base? I think Dan Campbell, who we talked about earlier, I think Dan Campbell really kind of blends the two together, like you're asking, Marsh.
Yeah.
This is somebody that plays well with the fan base because he is who he is. It's that specific fan. Like, I don't think Dan Campbell works in LA with that fan base.
I don't either.
In Detroit or any like Midwest city,
Pittsburgh, he'd be great.
Philly,
he would be loved.
Yeah, that works. But he lost the first 7 games, I think. If he hadn't turned it around, are the fans now tired of that act? I think they would be.
Yes.
So it does. It comes down to winning.
I also wonder if it comes down to the personnel that are in that locker room. I think of Paul Maurice. I don't think Paul Maurice really worked. I mean, he's a great coach, but it just didn't work well in Winnipeg. But it worked well.
I mean, the guy was way above 500 as a head coach.
For sure, but there were not concerns, but there were players and issues within that locker room, and you heard him talk about that in one of his final seasons in Winnipeg, calling some of the players out.
Oh, and he left. He resigned.
He's like,
I've had enough of this place.
But he goes to Florida, and it's not like that Winnipeg team was bad by any means. They're a consistent playoff team.
They were a Stanley Cup favorite the year the year the Blues won in 2019.
Yeah, and so he goes to Florida and makes it work like that. And the fans love him, and we've talked about it before. He is incredible in the media.
Oh God, is he good? John Tortorella is another one that
Joe Boo just brought him up.
Oh, there we go.
That was perfect timing. You guys are on the same wavelength now.
Yeah, John Tortorella is another guy that he can be prickly with the media and whatnot, but his players love him, and the fan base that he's coaching at. It depends where he's at, but they usually love him. Like Tampa, they loved him. He won a Stanley Cup. Columbus, they didn't really love him. They were terrible. He goes to Philadelphia. John Tortorella is kind of a Philadelphia, rough around the edges type guy. Called out a few players, got rid of some guys. And all of a sudden, the fans he can do no wrong.
Right. All right, they'll do it for biggest question of the day. We've got at the board 3 stars of the day, criticisms, compliments. All coming up next. You guys got a concert to go to.
Have a great weekend, boys. Yeah.
Imagine Dragons tonight.
The boys are here with Ashley, and we're going to the Imagine Dragons.
That'd be fun.
Oh, Reed would like to say something. It's family day.
It's family day.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm back.
He's back.
He's back. He's back. STL, he's back.
You didn't know he was gone.
He just gave the, what up, St. Louis?
All right. They're going to enjoy it. Mom's in the background now like, oh, boy.
Better get to know the bartender tonight.
Yep, there you go.
All right. We out.
All right, see you guys. We've got Bet the Board, 3 stars of the day, criticisms, compliments next on 101 ESPN. join us at 4 hour. Let me start over. You can join 101 ESPN. That's us. For the second annual Blues and Brews on Friday evening, September 20th at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. You can get fired up for the Blues season at this outdoor street party featuring live music from country music star Matt Stell and St. Louis's own Charles Glenn Group, plus appearances by Blues players and alumni, food trucks, 101 giveaways, and more. Tickets are just $20 and are on sale now. You can learn more at 101ESPN.com. We had a great, fun show today. Appreciate everybody being tuned in. If you missed any of it, you can download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com and your 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Marsh, you have enough time to look through the stuff?
Yeah, we are good to go for Bet the Board. By the way, I apologize to the listeners. That was a little bit loud.
Hey, that's okay.
A little cash register. A little loud, but here are the updated standings for Bet the Board. Carey has 9 points on the day, or I'm sorry, on the month. That'd be crazy if you had 9 points in one day.
That's pretty impressive.
Anthony, you have 7. Jamie has 6, and I still have 4 because my WNBA pick did not hit.
Oh no!
And I think I'm done with the W.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, you know what? Maybe, I don't want to say that. I don't want to jump to conclusions here, but maybe I miscalculated due to a lot of the players not playing for like a month.
Sure.
So we'll see. I might revisit it later, but for now, I think I'm going to stick with baseball.
Well, you know, Marsh, I am sorry to hear that, buddy. But the beat goes on. All right, what does CD have?
Well, you know, CD is going to pick one of the 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, and he's going with Gunnar Henderson today.
All right, not a bad selection there whatsoever. I'm going to take. So last night I took the Twins. I thought about taking the Cardinals. Jamie's like, "Oh, I got the Cardinals tonight." Turns out I'm ahead of them, but we didn't know it at the time, so we let Jamie have that selection. I'm going to take Boston-Baltimore tonight over 9 runs. Over 9 runs in the Orioles and Red Sox. And as we just mentioned, Jamie's going to take the Dodgers tonight against your St. Louis Cardinals. The Dodgers are only minus 129 on the money line. So there's that. Marsh, who are you? Marsh.
Who am I?
Yeah. Where are we?
I'm Spider-Man. I am going to take the Dodgers alternate total runs over 4.5. It's at minus 140.
Okay, there you have it. Speaking of Marsh, he's got our criticisms and compliments today.
From the 636, Stalter, that has got to be the coolest moment to have your kids on air with you.
It was. Thank you. But I do have to say, too, our listeners are fantastic. I said this earlier, so if you missed it, my kids had to come to work with me for about 2 hours today until my wonderful sister-in-law, Karen, picked them up. And, you know, you put the kids on, we're having fun and all that, but I was nervous because it is my kids, and as great as our listeners can be, you know, there's a certain section that gets a little nasty, so I was a little apprehensive about it, but the kids had fun. And you know what? The listeners, man, I love you all. I appreciate you. I do. There's a lot of people that chimed in, especially during that segment. Couldn't have been nicer to my kiddos, so thank you so much. And glad you liked the 10 minutes of us just kind of going back and forth with them, so thank you.
Also from the 314, as a dad, this segment is incredible. How awesome it is to have your kids at work with you.
It is cool. So this is the first time they've been to the work, but usually we'd bring them in, you know, like the weekends, have a chance to. We've done some like Mother's Day stuff where I've had the kids record just so my wife, Kristen, had their voices, you know, recorded and all that, especially at their ages, as you know, as parents, they grow up quickly. But long story short, to have them here today while I'm actually working on air was really cool. So thank you.
We got a text from the 636. Another great week, boys. Was going to suggest Marshy for first star of the day. Pulling triple duty today, but then you had the best interview ever, and Maddie and Killian stole the show. The Stalter kids with the win.
Thank you, guys. And by the way, yeah, Marsh, so you told me this last night. You were like, I am pulling triple duty today. How'd it go?
I thought it went good. Hopefully the listeners liked it, but
you didn't miss a beat in our show. That's for sure.
I thought the shows went great. I am struggling right now. You probably couldn't tell if you were listening. If you see me on YouTube, I probably have a couple bags under my eyes. Only got like 4 hours of sleep, but it was a great day.
You look good, kid.
So I appreciate it. I can't wait to go home and lay down.
There you go. Joe Boo said, what did you promise them to behave? I just got them McDonald's.
I also had McDonald's today. You didn't pay for it, but great minds think alike. All right, we are going to go to our 3 stars of the day. Our 3rd star of the day, I'm going to give a shout out to all the producers today for the producer party, and we'll throw Tanner in there as well, and Bradford Bruns, who stopped by the studio. So shout out to the producers.
There you go. Shout out. Absolutely.
2nd star of the day goes to Rafe's Cookies.
Yeah,
and him
thanks,
stopping
Rafe.
by.
Happy birthday to Riz, too, by the way.
Absolutely. And our 1st stars of the day go to Maddie Killian, and we'll even throw Reed in there as well for making an appearance, and he's back.
Well done. Thank you, man. And thank you to John. John said, Anthony, you not only do a great job on the radio, but do a great job as a staff. Thank you, John. I really do appreciate that. And thank you to all the listeners. Have a great weekend. For our guy, Carey Davis, who will be back on Monday, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, pulling triple duty today. Sounding great. I'm Anthony Stalter. See ya.